family of the 3 who lost their lives in that fateful accident that happened over the weekend. And of course, you know what's close to my heart, politics. And it's just astonishing how this country is slowly sinking to where we are not supposed to be. Just a few months ago, the Kenyan troops made their way back from Haiti, where they had some good run there to help stabilize that country. And whatever is happening in that country is exactly, and I can confidently say, if we are not careful, that we are going that direction. What happened over the weekend was completely unacceptable. Let's just call a spade a spade. It's completely unacceptable.
Yes.
And to the politicians, because there's no Kenyan who can just wake up in the morning and mobilize themselves for no apparent cause, because they share the same market, their children share the same school, they share the same hospital, they share almost the same, you know, water boreholes around themselves. We need to wake up and smell the coffee. The moment we go down that route, I'm so sure it will take us years to recover. It will take us years to recover. Take a look at what happened. Vivian, Mike, and Trevor.
Yeah.
Bows and arrows in broad daylight.
Can you imagine?
Yes, imagine.
That was so unfortunate.
Machetes and Masai rungus, all manner of good weapons.
Yeah.
As a country, that should give us PTSD.
In broad daylight.
In broad daylight. It was just so unfortunate. And it's the fact that it is now becoming a norm.
Exactly.
And the fact that it's being allowed to become a norm. Because we've been seeing this. I mean, over the weekend was just the most recent one. But it's been happening. The political animosity in the country as it is right now is not something we should just put aside or overlook. It's something that should really, the relevant authorities should actually take charge and ensure that this is being averted before it becomes a menace, as you've mentioned.
We are living in a country that has an intelligence system to know these things before even they happen. So why are we seeing all this happen? The security agencies need to up their game, because this alone should give the country PTSD, so to speak, because of what happened 20 years or so ago in 2007. Because if we go down this road, we are likely to go back to where we left back in 2007. And that is not something we are ready to do. We need to be tolerant of each other when it comes to politics. Let everyone sell their agenda, devoid of any interruption. I may support someone, you may support the other one, but why should we have that?
You know what?
Exactly.
You know what happens? Even Trevor, you can also get into this, because politicians will always use all the available tactics to win an election.
Yes.
That is the truth of the matter. And one of them is to intimidate and create fear, you know, against their opponents. That is one of the tactics. Actually, it's actually in the 48 laws of power. You create and intimidate your opponent, but then now, to what extent? Attacking a church service? I mean, bro, man.
Imagine.
But it's up to us. It's up. Sorry, Victor.
Sorry. Then you're telling us that 8 people have so far been arrested. Okay? They will be arrested. Okay. So then what? Are you going to stop this madness of having goons roaming and having a field day left, right, and center? Mike said this was not an emergency, that these people just regrouped within 10 minutes and attacked that.
Yes.
It was not an emergency. It was well planned.
You're right.
Kisumu is getting down the bad drain. I can confidently say that. I can confidently say that. And we need to do something about it. Trevor,
I agree.
it's shocking.
It's very shocking and very disheartening,
Yeah?
Victor and Mike and Vivian, as you've mentioned. Actually, one of the most disheartening things is to see that these people are the young people carrying bows and arrows. I mean, so disheartening. I thought these are the same people who back
advancing
in
towards the church.
Exactly.
I thought these are the same people back in 2024 that, you know, were advocating for good leadership, were against such kind of tribal groupings and you know, all these bad habits that we were seeing previously in the previous years. But to see it now happening in 2026, and when I look at those pictures, I see young people, totally, this is not a country I'd want to see it moving the way it's moving. I want to echo what you've said. It's absolute madness.
And this is our country, and I feel like it's up to us as the people to just protect and ensure that our country is safe, because at the end of the day, this is the only country we have. So those young men who are being used in all of this, in this goonism, it is up to you to just wake up and see that you are actually just being used. This is our country, and if we go that line, it's going to be bad.
Two things, Victor, two things. One, when will we learn? And number two, even as we focus on arresting those who are sitting on the front lines of this goonism, what about the financiers of this goonism?
Yeah, that is a big question. Personally, my question is, can it just be stopped? Once and for all, can we just have it? We'll see what happened in Lukalau. I mean, gunshots, people being shot left, right, and center. I mean, it's just normal, and life goes on. It can never be that normal. Okay, enough. And I hope that CS, Kipchumba Murkomen, yes, you are going to do something about it, because that is your docket, and we have to ask you to do something about it. Please protect Kenyans. It's as simple as that. That is where we are. Karibu sana. So that is going to be forming part of my discussion of this morning. The goons headache. The goons headache. I'll be joined by Honorable Francis Mongangi, Deputy Governor of Machakos County. Gibson Gesore, an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, is also a political analyst, will be here. Onyangolo, presidential aspirant, party leader, is the party leader of Freedom and Opportunity Party, that is FOP. He's also former Speaker of the Kisumu County Assembly, and Daniel Juma Omondi, who is the Africa Regional Representative, Africa Peace Foundation. The four gentlemen will be here at exactly 7. Let's talk about that. But as always, si tunaongeanga football. Octopus.
Octopus Olo.
Octopus Olo. France and Spain. Expect some good score there, but all teams are good. They have demonstrated that they can get to the finals.
Yes.
I see a 1-1 regular time, and I also see them advancing to the extra time, and I can also see them getting to the penalty stage. But from what I can see, I will give you my prediction. Who is going to win that match?
Who's winning?
Yes.
Who will win?
I'll tell you at the end of the show. At the end of the show.
I'm rooting for France.
All my predictions have been Hadimish. All right.
All right.
There you go.
All right. Aside from that, today being a Monday, you know, we talk matters family right here on the show. That is a family check that usually starts from 9 a.m. And today's conversation, we are talking about us being online and our phones replacing real conversations. Are we usually together as a family? Yes, but not really connecting. You know, are we living together but not connecting? That is what we will be looking at. Our phones replacing real conversations. And joining me for that will be Pastor David Makori, who's a pastor, an author, and a family man. We'll also be having William Deche Mwachiro, who's a psychologist. And last but not least, we'll have Cleopa Njiro, who is a counseling psychologist and the founder and director of Viva Mind Solutions Limited. Let's have that conversation then. Mike?
The pace has been set for the conversation right here on Good Morning Kenya. So it's for you now to tune in and enjoy the conversations. And remember, you can be part of every conversation happening right here on KBC Channel 1. We are at KBC Channel 1 on our social media platform. My name is Mike Migu. Once again, welcome to Good Morning Kenya. Trevor?
And good morning, Kenya. My name is Trevor Ngendo. It's another brand new week, and we're set for the new week. I'll be here to tell you what's happening in news, what made headlines yesterday, and even what to expect this week. We understand that Okalau elections are also set for this week, so that is also something to be on the lookout for. I'll give you this and more in the course of this program, and we look forward to bringing you even more news in the course of the day with our reporters who will be stationed across different parts of the country. Victor?
You could just go ahead with the news.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Asante Sana. Very good morning once again. My name is Trevor Ngendo. Let's kick this off with yesterday's win by the Starlets. And Kenya's junior Starlets are heading back to the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup after defeating South Africa 3-1 at Nyayo National Stadium, completing a dominant 5-1 aggregate victory. Kenya will now look to build on that experience as they prepare for their second appearance on the global stage in Morocco after their historic debut in 2024 in the Dominican Republic.
The visitors struck hardly through Katailo Methabana in the 5th minute, but Kenya responded strongly in the second half. Starlets came back stronger in the second half, with fans playing a key role in the last half, where Gaudesia Maloba equalized in the 70th minute before Brenda Ward calmly converted a late penalty to put the horse ahead.
Brenda sasa. Brenda! Goal!
Elizabeth Alizeba then sealed the victory with a third goal moments later, sparking celebrations among the home fans.
Liz, goal!
The win secures the Junior Starlet's second consecutive qualification for another historic milestone for Kenyan side, who became the first country's first football team to compete at a FIFA World Cup during their debut appearance in Dominican Republic in 2024.
Kipindi cha kwanza wengi wao walikuwa wameogopa kiasi. Sasa tukarudi kwa changing room, tukaongea, tukawakumbusha wako nyumbani. Hata kama hawajaicheza na fans wengi hivi, wa step up wako nyumbani watupatie results na wamefanya hivyo.
We congratulate the Kenyans, they deserved, because you remember how we lost the game first leg. We knew it won't be easy away from home, but I'm proud of my girls. They did their best. It's just that sometimes the game, you'll try everything, then the result will do otherwise.
In 2024 in Dominican, they registered a memorable victory over Mexico, beating them 2-1. Following the win, Kenya will now look to build on that experience as they prepare for another shot on the global stages. After the win, President William Ruto congratulated the team for the hard-fought victory and also assured them government support in the World Cup preparations.
You have made us very, very proud.
Thank you.
You are the best. I love you guys. Congratulations. You make our country very proud. I am very, very proud of you. And you can count on my support 100%.
Leo wametuonesha what they can do. They won 2-0 away.
Na mumeperform, mko juu, mnaenda World Cup Morocco, si ndio? For the second time.
Spirit and that electricity that you had as you went for those goals, that's what you got to take tomorrow. We're so proud of you.
Thank you, Dan Mwendo, for that story. And moving on, let's speak All Kalau in Nyandarua County. And leaders in All Kalau have appealed for peace and tolerance days before the election is held. And the leaders allied to the United Democratic Alliance and the Democracy for Citizens Party also want the Inspector General of Police to guarantee security during the remaining hours of the campaign and during the by-election. The campaigns will conclude on Monday evening, 48 hours before the mini poll. Take a look.
As the campaigns for the All Kalau parliamentary by-elections enter the home stretch, leaders from across the political divide are urging their supporters to exercise restraint and avoid causing mayhem ahead of Thursday's mini polls. In the hunt for votes, UDA leaders, led by Nyandarua MP Faith Gitau, attended a church service at the Full Gospel Church in All Kalau town, where they condemned Saturday's violent incident, calling on the relevant security agencies to take firm action against those responsible.
Huyu kijana amekuwa na mheshimiwa Kiaraho for 13 years. Kwa hivyo anajua maono ambayo Kiaraho alikuwa nayo. And I believe he's the only one. Anajua tena kidani ya hayo maono ambao Kiaraho alikuwa nayo.
Their campaigns concluded in a rally at Captain Center, where UDA chairperson Cecily Mbaride and other leaders urged residents to back the UDA candidate Samuel Mushina, who would guarantee the perpetuity of government programs.
Na mmesikia wa Muthende mwenyewe akiwapatia ushuhuda ya ile kazi imefanywa na serikali katika Mbeere North. Na mtajua mmefanya kitu mzuri tarehe 17. Kwa sababu mutaona mambo ikianza kubadilika na tayari mumeiona.
The DCP camp, on the other hand, were at Mirangine Catholic Church, where they sustained pressure on the IBC to ensure that the mini poll is free and fair.
Sisi kama chama tumepeana njia mwafaka na tumesema hakuna mtu yoyote wa chama yetu amepatiwa any direction ya kupanga vijana wote wa kuharibu amani.
Kwa hivyo tunashangaa sana kuona matamshi ya chairman wa IBC akisema kuna uwezekano wa kuwa na violence hapa Olkalao na kuna uwezekano wa kusimamisha uchaguzi.
Lakini nataka kuambia IBC lazima and hawana choice yoyote ila kupea Wakenya uchaguzi ambayo ni ya haki, ya amani na ambayo haina mapendeleo.
They also called on the Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja to secure the exercise.
Tunataka kueleza Inspector General of Police responsibility ya kulinda wananchi wote, wale wa chama yetu na wa chama zingine, watu wa Olkalao hii, wote ambao watakuwa hapa. It lies directly on your shoulders. Ni lazima uweke bidii yote ya kuhakikisha hii by election yetu imekuwa na amani.
This even as the People's Renaissance Movement, led by Saboti MP Caleb Amisi, also appealed to residents to maintain peace ahead of the by-election.
Ile direction munaenda kupeana ndio direction the country is going. It is not a joke. It is a very important vote. Wengine wakipigana na huyu apite katikati na ingie kwa bunge.
The campaigns for the Olkalao parliamentary by-elections are expected to come to a conclusion on Monday, with leaders from across a political divide asking the residents to remain tolerant.
Thank you, Giverson from Nyandarua County in Olkalao. And still on that, preparations for the upcoming Olkalao parliamentary by-election scheduled for Thursday, July 16th, are in top gear. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission says it is finalizing both logistical and administrative arrangements ahead of the polling day. The Commission has also announced that the training of key election officials is largely complete, while the orientation for deputy presiding officers and presiding officers has been successfully concluded. The training of polling clerks is ongoing across the constituency. According to the IBC, the intensive exercise targets to equip all election officials with the necessary knowledge and skills to ensure free, fair, transparent, and credible poll. And moving on, still on politics, the Orange Democratic Party is calling on its supporters to back the re-election of President William Ruto next year to raise the party's bargaining power in the formation of the next government. Party leader Oburu Odinga and a section of principal secretaries from the Nyanza region said that the region has now been benefiting from the government projects courtesy of President Ruto's administration after being marginalized for decades. Similar sentiments were made by National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula in Bungoma County.
Upande Mula Nyakach, 100,000.
The Orange Party sustained its citizen engagement through a fundraising event in Luo Nyanza region, Maguti Catholic Parish in Kedube, Homa Bay, being their host on Sunday. ODM party leader Oburu Oginga rallied the Nyanza electorate to support President William Ruto's re-election bid and vote in ODM leaders in order to place the party in a better negotiating position during the formation of the government.
When we are going to sit with President Ruto for fair sharing, he is going to ask me, Oburu, how many votes, how many councillors, how many governors have you brought on the table?
The leaders, allied to the broad-based government, praised William Ruto's leadership, saying areas perceived to be opposition zones were also being developed.
We thought that we needed a Luo to be president for Nyanza to be developed. And yet, William Ruto is not Luo and is doing a lot of great things in Nyanza. All you need is a nationalist leader like William Ruto.
As a president, he has managed to bring this country together. When we talk about the developments, when the senator speaks of what is happening in Homa Bay County, it's a replica of what is happening in each and every part of this country.
Similarly, in Bungoma County, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula called on Bungoma residents to back President William Ruto's re-election bid in 2027. Wetangula argues the Kenya Kwanza administration has delivered on key development promises that are transforming the country.
Kwa miaka 3-4 Ruto amekuwa hapa zaidi ya mara 10. Kwa mambo ya maendeleo, yeye hakuja hapa kutafuta pombe, anakuja kwa mambo ya maendeleo.
Elsewhere, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has condemned incidents of incitements and goonism in political gathering in Olkalau and other parts of the country, assuring that the government will protect everyone irrespective of their political affiliation.
Tutahakikisha Olkalau by-elections tarehe 16 itaenda vizuri, na tutahakikisha Kenya mwaka kesho itakuwa na uchaguzi wa amani na utulivu.
Murkomen made the remarks at Bishop Hannington ACK Cathedral, Mumias, Kakamega County. And Public Service Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Rocco has dismissed the political association between Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka and Democracy for Citizens Party leader Rigathi Gachagua, saying it is of no benefit to the Akamba community.
Kwa sasa tumekutana na ambaye ya Kitui, ya Makueni na ya Machakos. Nitaenda nipeleke ripoti kwa Mheshimiwa Rais. Nimwambie vile tumeongea na mmekubali ya kwamba mtaunga mkono serikali yake na mtamuunga mkono 2027. CS
Rocco made the remarks in Kitui County after meeting 22 Akamba clans, where he was installed as an elder of the community by the Akamba clans governing council of elders.
And moving on, the head of public service, Felix Koskei, has challenged professionals across the country to actively step up and take charge of policy making, budgeting, and public oversight to track how the taxpayers' money is used in various projects. Koskei, who graced an engagement forum with Kakamega County professionals at Masinda Muliro University of Science and Technology, emphasized the role of professionals in supporting the successful implementation of government projects.
Our professionals.
Tens of professionals drawn from across Kakamega County converged at Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology to discuss their role in community development.
Let us be people who participate in the policy making process, whether it is budgetary, whether it is legislation, whether it is project coordination. Let us be at the center.
The head of public service, Felix Koskei, who was in attendance, challenged the professionals to use their skills and experience to strengthen institutions, drive innovation, and contribute to better outcomes for citizens.
And this is for that matter. We have doctors. We have engineers. Why are our roads substandard? That road outside your home. Who will oversight it? Whom are you expecting? We have everybody else here. We have the custodians. We have to fulfill the constitutional mandate that has been given by the Constitution.
The meeting, which centered heavily on accountability and regional development, also put Kenya's soaring youth unemployment rate under the microscope.
You are aware of the government internship program. There's Kazi Mitandaoni. There's Kazi Maju. and of course, in-country jobs. These are not just stories, they are statistics about how students are transitioning into the labor market.
Higher Education Principal Secretary Dr. Beatrice Inyangala called on regional leaders to intentionally create and connect young people with economic opportunities.
But that also brings me to the question of the leaders gathered here today. In your space, you have job opportunities. And so the question is, how are you helping our young ones to transition and secure these job opportunities? It cannot be a one person's responsibility.
Moving on to sports now, Patrick Matu emerged the overall winner of the 4th edition of the New Gen Golf Tournament held at the Windsor Golf Club. M. Kubo was the men's winner, while the ladies' title was won by Anna Mengi.
Patrick Matu won the overall title with a score of 36 points, narrowly edging Nathan Juguna, who settled for second position, also on 36 points. M. Kubo won the men's title with a score of 41 points after beating closest rival Stanley Gachoki, who took the runners-up award. Anna Meingi was the best lady of the tournament with a score of 38 points, easily beating Millicent Melo, who was the pre-tournament favorite, and who finished second with 39 points.
I'm really excited to be here today. Always looking forward to be part of the New Gen series that happens every year. In this series, we get to meet with industry leaders in the tech space, get to meet my peers in industry, and it's always a fun day to be out here and enjoy.
A total of 120 golfers from the banking and insurance sectors competed in the one-day tournament that saw an additional 20 players compete this year compared to 2025 when 100 players teed off.
We've been waiting for the whole year for this particular tournament to happen because, whenever I think we started 4 years back. That point of time, there were around about 60 to 70 people, players who came for the tournament. But today, I think it was 120. So the tournament is getting more and more popular, and every year we try to make it all the more grand for the next year.
And we have actually started local skill development with our partners here and stationed 2 of our technical leaders here to develop the Kenyan IT community on the platform and skills.
The number has doubled from the first edition in 2022 when only 60 players competed in the inaugural tournament that has always been held at the Windsor, and the organizers, New Gen, are now planning on making the event a 2-day tournament from next year due to the rising number of golfers.
All right, thank you. Then that's where we wrap up this morning brief. My name is Trevor Ngendo. It's been an honor and a pleasure to have you on board this morning. I'm wishing you a very beautiful week ahead, and we hope that you stay tuned to follow our programs and the rest of our programs lined up for you. Before we go, I want to leave you with a quote here by Jane Lynch that says that you cannot make a cloudy day a sunny day, but you can embrace it and decide it's going to be a good day after all. My name is Trevor Ngendo once again. May you have a blessed week ahead. Good day.
Boniface Monene. I'm now supporting the France team because the France team has the capability to win this FIFA World Cup the year 2026. Remember that we are always live on KBC, Channel 1, and the KBC are doing the good job so that we can watch the FIFA World Cup live and direct.
My name is Newton Nyaswabu. I support France because it's a tactical team. It has the position, the center forwards, the strikers. You see, like Kylian Mbappe. He has more goals and is a bit challenge to the World Cup.
Naitwa Pavel na na support Argentina, but sahii naona hawako hivyo strong kama last World Cup, so wakipatana na France itakuwa shida, lakini wakijikakamua, Messi afanye mambo yake, watashinda tu tena. World Cup iko KBC.
Hello, this is Giselle Fernandez, Ambassador of Mexico to Kenya. Thank you, KBC, for bringing the game of the FIFA World Cup closer to us. Mexico has been thrilled of welcoming, of showing our culture, of receiving everyone with open arms in this tournament. We are also grateful for our Kenyan fans that have followed this match and that have been able to experience from their own seats the joy of this tournament. Finally, for Mexico, this is a historical moment. It has been the third time that my country has hosted a World Cup. So we wish all the teams that have played this tournament a really exciting one. So this will be a really nice experience for all of you to remember. Thank you for watching.
All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. It's now 2 minutes past 7 a.m. Joining us, my name is Victor Law, and this is Good Morning Kenya on KBC Channel 1. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, being a Monday, it's Eye on Politics. Let's take a look at what really happened over the weekend and what we should be expecting to happen this week and, of course, weeks ahead. You know, this is a very crucial time for Kenya as we'll be heading to the election in the next 12 months, so to speak. Okay, so the month of July is almost coming to an end, and once we clock the month of August, is all systems go. Very good. One thing that stood out over the weekend was the twin attacks, the goon attacks that happened in Nyahururu, the Linda Mwananchi group being attacked, and of course, even over the weekend, another one also happened. You know, the rival camps attacking each other in Olkalau. Just too much to handle in a matter of days. So while that was also happening, Kisumu also witnessed something that was not actually expected. The attack to a church where some of the politicians were attending a church service is also something that was completely unprecedented. And that is going to be forming part of our discussion. The goon's headache. How is it going to be that we are going to live with that kind of mentality, and for how long? We have got government agencies mandated to protect us and to make sure that that is put to a zero level, if not wiped out completely. So that's going to be our discussion today, the goon's headache. I'm joined by my namesake, gentleman Onyangolo, who is the presidential aspirant, party leader, Freedom and Opportunity Party, that is FOP. He's also a former Speaker of the County Assembly of Kisumu. Onyangolo, Mheshimiwa, karibu sana.
Asante.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Next to him is Daniel Juma Mondi, who is the African Regional Representative, Global Peace Foundation. He's a man who, when it comes to peace, that is his forte. And let's talk about that in all terms and reasons. Daniel, karibu.
Thank you for having me, Victor, and good morning, Kenya.
Good morning to you too as well. We are still waiting for Gibson Gesori, who's an advocate of the High Court, and Francis Mongangi, Deputy Governor of Machakos. So let's get the ball rolling. On the front page of the Standard, that is forming our part of discussion. The Standard says madness of a nation. There you go. Madness of a nation. Look at that picture. Okay, look at that picture. That is exactly what happened in Kisumu. A group of armed, I don't know whether to call them youth or not, but Okay. Armed with bows, arrows, some of them had pangas, machetes if you like, some of them had rungus and all manner of crude weapons yesterday. And this is not AI. This is not AI. This happened. And down there's also another vehicle which was destroyed in Nyahururu. The driver of Governor Irungu Kangata, who was shot in the chest with a rubber bullet. And on the other side, just photos of leaders scampering for safety during the Linda Mwananchi meeting in Nyahururu. That is the madness of a nation. The Standard says that the country is teetering on the edge, or teetering as edge as goons take over the streets. Political violence is becoming the new normal, with armed gangs attacking opposition leaders and disrupting their meetings. Those charged with safeguarding the nation's security, Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen and CPS Raymond Omolo, stand accused by critics of allowing politics to overshadow their constitutional duty to protect life and property. President William Ruto has remained conspicuously silent. Unless decisive action is taken, the country risks a complete breakdown of law and order. It's as simple as that. That is our discussion this morning. I don't know what you have on the front page of the Star.
Thank you. With the Star, we have, as the headline, we have why New Sacco Bill has raised great interest. Wave of panic swept through Kenya's financial bedrock, as you can see. But next to it, as in the Standard, we have violence rocks Linda Mwananchi event in Kisumu. And under it there, you can see political chaos, armed young men charged towards ACK St. Stephen's Cathedral in Kisumu, where Linda Mwananchi leaders were attending a service yesterday. An injured man is assisted by Good Samaritans after he was attacked by goons. Other than that, we have Ruto to Kalonzo. I won't abandon Ukambani, even if you can't join me.
Yes. That is politics.
That's
okay.
politics.
I won't abandon Ukambani, even if you don't join me. Okay. Daniel, what do you have on the front page of the Daily Nation?
Yeah, the front page of the Daily Nation, we have moment of truth for Uhuru Ruto, 7 trillion shillings loan. So the Kenya Kwanza government has launched a fresh bid to halt proceedings in the landmark constitutional case challenging the legality of 6.95 trillion in public debt, with Treasury's CS John Buddy and AG Dorcas Oduo filing fresh applications to stop the hearing scheduled for October. We also have there Linda Mwananchi leaders condemn attacks in Nyahururu and Nyeri. And yesterday also we saw our girls, you know, the Kenya under-17 girls.
Yes.
We defeated South Africa to qualify for FIFA World Cup. This is a good thing, you know, for our girls. And then, of course, other news we're saying recruiter ordered to pay woman 7 million shillings for her jobs in Myanmar. Then regarding Utumishi girls, some lobbies want the girls' dormitories to be barred from opening. So those are the main headlines in the nation today.
Very good. So based on what you've had, let's just come back to the front page of the Standard. Basically, that is our discussion today. Mheshimiwa Onyango, you were the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kisumu, and you know what is happening, and you have the story and the history of Kisumu very well, perhaps better than us, you and Daniel and I here. When you saw this, what really ran through your mind? I mean, this is a county that you led religiously.
Yes. I didn't just become the Speaker of Kisumu County Assembly. Perhaps to our viewers, I was brought up lived in Kisumu much of my life. It is like the city that I've always known.
That is home?
That is home. Actually, my home is in Kisumu, within the city. And when I look at this picture here...
Go ahead.
I can tell you, we have had bouts of violence in Kisumu town from time to time, which come out of political demonstrations, more often than not for worthy causes. But to see men and women brazenly and in public holding arrows, bows, pangas, machetes, this is a new law. And the unfortunate thing is that from this photograph alone, I can identify the faces. And I can tell you who they are working for. And I can tell you that these are paid goons. It is unfortunate. The only unfortunate thing, for those of us who are able to watch it maybe in the social media platforms, the only unfortunate thing that is different from what we have had in other places is that the police who are there. That we are not having cases of these men being apprehended, being arrested, or investigations being carried out. And worse, that this thing happened at daytime. I am not seeing men covering their faces, even with masks, or having, you call it backlavas. This tells you that we have reached a level where violence has become brazen. Men can walk in daylight with pangas, machetes in Kenya. In fact, in the third largest city of our nation, this calls for serious introspection, for serious questions from the government agencies entrusted with the duty to maintain peace and order. It calls for very serious questions to be answered by those who we elected. The only thing I can tell them as a resident of Kisumu, what goes round comes round. The creators of this will soon be ready to handle the bite.
Daniel, you know, what that's really, I mean, for the last couple of months, we've been talking about goons. I think we've discussed the matter of goons on this set. But when you talk about goons, why is it becoming so normal right now to talk about goons and we just go to bed as if there's nothing to worry about? I mean, look at what really happened yesterday. The photos on the local dailies is just something completely not acceptable, to say the least.
I think we're normalizing this concept of goons, and it's very unfortunate that we just keep talking about it and doing, nothing really about the issue. As I've always said, goons and politicians are basically bedfellows. They go together. For you to succeed in Kenyan politics, you need people who will be, making noise for you, who will be heckling your rivals, and who will be, basically politicians use these people to popularize themselves. And so this is a given. Everyone who is in politics knows this. I remember when I was running for Ugenya MP in 2019, my rivals would treat the crowd. They call it treating the crowd. In Luo, it's called cheer the pub, treating the crowd. So that when I come, when I'm speaking, then I'm heckled so that I'm not, nobody hears what I'm saying. So this is something that politicians do, whether in or outside government. But mine as a peacemaker is just to say that this should not be allowed to go on. You have seen what is going on in South Africa, where the government of Cyril Ramaphosa has completely abdicated its duty to vigilantes in South Africa, who are now given themselves the duty of enforcing immigration laws. So right now in South Africa, Ramaphosa and his government, it is the goons in South Africa, I call them goons, who are actually chasing people out of there, chasing foreign, apparently. In Kenya, if we are not careful, there's coming a time when these goons will be leading the narrative, where the politicians, the leaders will not talk. The goons will be saying, this is what we want. And so, as a peacemaker, mine is to urge, all the players within government, the opposition, that this should not be allowed to go on. Let us stop this, let us nip this in the bud, and I want to call upon organizations who are charged with this, especially the National Cohesion Integration Commission, IPOA, the National Police Service, which is now independent. They should not be seeing young boys walking with machetes and walking with arrows and bows and not doing anything about it. Whoever caused this, the police should ensure that the streets of Kisumu has been safe. The last few protests, even June 25th, and even the Sabasaba, Kisumu was relatively safe. And the people of Kisumu, of course, they had said that now this time they don't want to be in the street.
Yeah.
That is the spirit. But now, yesterday when I saw this, I was wondering where these people have come from. And also the youth of Kisumu, they have not been known to carry bows and arrows. This is the first time I'm seeing bows and arrows, being carried in Kisumu.
Yes.
So I really want to call upon, everyone, involved. Let us take a chill pill and let's do something about this phenomenon before it gets out of hand.
Okay. Mheshimiwa Francis Mwangangi, Deputy Governor, Machakos County, asante sana for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. And of course, Gibson Gesore, who's an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, is also a political analyst. Karibu wakili.
Thank you.
Before I get into your statement, President William Ruto said that he will Ruto to Kalonzo. That is your boss, party leader. He said that he won't abandon Ukambani even if Kalonzo refuses to join him. That is on the front page. You can ponder on that. So even if he refuses to join him, he won't leave Ukambani.
Okay.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Mheshimiwa, it seems there is a 48th law of power that is being used. When you look at what's on the front page of the Standard and of course the Daily Nation, it's been all over since Saturday, Sunday, and now we are in Monday. Who is using the 48th laws of power here? And for what reason?
Just for politics. Look at the history of the region where this is being practiced. Look at the appointment of the government there. Is also the same person who is in charge of the security of the country. So it is do or die for some people. What I will just tell them is it could be politics. It could be we must win it under whatever costs, but not at the expense of the country. Nations that have failed, nations that have history of this kind of things, Haiti being part of it, start the way we are doing. Let me say this.
You talk of Haiti. Do you know we rescued Haiti?
Who said we rescued? Who said we rescued? That is very debatable. Now, so what I'm saying,
yes,
we have a country that was Moi, give credit where due, gave out a united country to the then NAC administration under President Kibaki. Raila Odinga and the Kalonzo and everybody else who was in NAC then. Then President Kibaki expanded, and I'm sure my colleagues here will agree with me, freedoms of Kenyans. Then he handed over to President Uhuru Kenyatta. We have not seen this. Let me say this. If government of the day is not supporting this, you will not see this madness. All you need is an independent National Police Service executing their mandate. You will not see this. You are just seeing it simply because at the top is where these things are being organized from. I am not afraid to say the CS Interior, the PS Interior know what is happening. And why am I saying so? When we saw goons, at first, when we saw the so-called goons here trying to protect Nairobi alongside our security agents, nobody knows what the government did. After the outcry, that matter fizzled out. We have seen when the top government officials, including the president himself, whenever he is moving around in Nairobi, how people are being robbed during daylight, with people who are also appearing to be in presidential, they are moving the way he is moving. Way both ahead and right behind the convoy of the head of state. I think all we need is the will to do the right thing, adhere to the rule of law, respect our constitution and the rest of Kenyans, and know that I can differ with my friends. All of them here can be people of either the opposition or the government. We debate, but at the end of the day, we say what we want to say and allow Kenyans to make their own decision. So what is happening here is state-backed.
State-backed.
Yes.
Gibson, your area could also face certain level of unrest. A few days ago, one gentleman lost his life, and now the parent yesterday said that they're also looking or seeking for answers. The same thing happened where the Linda Mwananchi group were attacked in Keroka, I think it was in Keumbo or something like that. And the cycle continues.
It's quite unfortunate, Victor, that we are having this, and I would want to join in to what my brother Mwangangi is saying, that if we are not careful, we are going to lose this country. South Africa now is going to be a country which is run by goons, unfortunately, and it's the biggest economy in the African continent. Kenya is the leading economy in this region. If we start going this way, then unfortunately, we're also going to go the same way. You know, our brothers in Nigeria, parts of the country are ungovernable, especially the south and the north. So if we play around with these things, Victor, we are going to be a republic which is not going to be recognizable. Violence breaks down the rule of law. You cannot go to court when they are goons, because they can come and even hijack the magistrate. You see, that is the kind of system we want to allow into our country. It's very important that the government of the day wakes up and reins in on all this chaos. Sometimes it's for political expediency, if I may use the word, it seems convenient for someone to use goons against his opponent, or to drive a narrative, or to achieve some agenda. But at the end of the day, these goons do come back. Somebody else will use them against you. And then the goons get emboldened. You cannot be able to control them when they get out of hand. They become, now we go the way Haiti went. We start going to several other countries which have gone down that road. We have seen the former president of Zimbabwe use goons to avoid an election, and or meet a lot of force even to the opposition candidate Morgan Shangirai when he was alive back in the day. So we don't want to go that way. Kenya is a country which we have come so far. We have shed so much blood that we cannot afford again to start shedding blood for anything political and for anything which is supposed to be agreements or disagreement on principle. So we need to be able to bring back the rule of law. Who can be able to do that? It can only be, unfortunately, the Minister of Interior and the top leadership of the country, who should be able to speak boldly against these things. Let all these goons or the leaders be put to task so that they are taken to court. Let the police stand up and be independent. That is why, that is the information or the vision behind having police as an independent organ. That is the vision why we have even a police oversight body which should be able to check the police excesses. Unfortunately, like what I saw in Nyahururu, I think, I don't know whether the gentleman is alive or how he's doing, but those are things we should not be seeing. What happened in Keumbo is quite unfortunate, and we should be able to rein in on
Absolutely. Let me ask you, Mheshimiwa, how big is this economy? Because it seems that the upsurge of the goon economy is getting to some level. How big is it now? How lucrative
It's a well-oiled machine.
How lucrative is this economy?
I told you, maybe what I didn't tell you is I was born within the biggest slums of Kisumu.
Yes.
So that when I tell you, in this group, either you are my friend, I grew up with you grew up with my brothers or my sister, or someone somehow I know. And I can tell you that on the eve of this, the kind of money being distributed is no joke. We even know who distributes the money, how it was brought. And let me tell you first, I know you want to know how big this economy, the Gunism. It is big, it is massive, it is state-sponsored. But other than that, if we want to bring this thing to an end, when I talk of state-sponsored, I say players or actors within the state must be involved. Because the kind of money, my brother, being distributed, you find a youth carrying a bag of 10 million when people are going to action the next day. If I dare that on the screen, I can tell you I can stand up for it. But let me add to something my two brothers there have said. It is not just important that we wish to end this Gunism, because it will not just end on our wishes. We must first trace where did it start, and we must be truthful to ourselves.
Yes.
Gunism has not started with Ruto. Gunism was the bane of Moi's government, especially under multipartyism when he was threatened with the introduction of multipartyism. If you can still remember the photographs of Njoya being beaten.
Yeah.
So whenever the government is threatened, it comes. So the birds have just come home to roost. When you look at South Africa, those of you who may remember the Inkatha Freedom Party, largely based as KwaZulu-Natal, it was brought in to delay the dismantling of apartheid. And it is the Africans who are being used to fight the ANC, and a lot of deaths took place. We thought it ended when apartheid ended. It has reincarnated now, and you can see it in the streets.
To push a different agenda right now.
The same Gunism that Moi introduced in our country has reincarnated now to push agenda that we could all guess what it is. Same with Haiti, the history of Papa Doc and Baby Doc. It was to preserve the then state of Haiti. Years later, you realize this is an ogre that never dies. So to even think or imagine that by calling on state actors to end this thing, we will achieve something, I would tell fellow citizens, we are daydreaming. There are only one or two ways to end this nonsense. One, elect serious leaders who are committed to end this kind of nonsense. Two, let us be bold as citizens and say, we bring to an end the leadership of the Moi-bred politicians, because that is the only way they know how to hold power.
Yes.
So that we can have a clean start with men who believe in the rule of law, the power of democracy, and who believe in conversing with fellow citizens. So that if I have great ideas, but you bring great ideas, I must bow to great ideas. Barring that, this is going to be a vicious circle that even 50, 60 years may come to haunt our children and grandchildren. And the Kenya as a state as we know it may come to an end through these small jokes we are bringing around. If you can remember when Moi left power, and this thing has come to haunt us now, then you can know that we are just upgrading upscaling how to use Gunism to protect what we decide.
Okay. Let's take a break. And we come back, I still want to ask that question. How big is this economy? Because it seems that it is so thriving that you see young men, vigilante or organized gang, daring one another, and the police are standing there in broad daylight. Then you said somebody can carry 10 million shillings in a bag?
Oh yes. When they are going, this man, if for instance, if they are being taken outside where they are, nobody goes. First you take 5,000 up front. When you come successfully, because things could get thick.
So tumalizane sahi.
Beba tano kwanza. Because unaweza kuchukua na tena you drop. If you finish the mission and you come back, you get another 5,000 shillings. That's 10,000 per person. That is why someone can dare his face.
Hold that thought. Can we take a break?
Thank you.
Daniel, Peace Foundation have a lot of work to do. Okay, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Swung in by Odegaard, he's hit it deep, he's got Pickford committed. Anybody coming under the overlap, Pickford is down and play will be halted. And Norway will say, hang on a sec. Yeah, protesting, and he's been cautioned by Turpin.
Oyer's right. I mean, Pickford came into his own man, knows exactly what he's doing. We just touched on that earlier on. Yeah, that's going to hurt, but that's your job. You came out and you went and nailed your own player while you punched the ball away. I feel he knows what he's doing. Oyer's just frustration. He's not one of the ones booked. I think they only had Noosa taking a yellow card into this game, so...
The Bodhi tree is on fire. What? The Bodhi tree's on fire? Don't pretend that you're not involved. You're saying that the anomalies are related to the tree's destruction? The trees stabilize our space. When the pagoda tree was destroyed, the human world and Ghostum went through something similar. Didn't your accomplice tell you that?
I'm not interested in having a debate with you.
Ukitaka kutazama mchezo yote
The way KBC iko Huduma Center. Kupata huduma kwa rahisi, from digital services to booking of commercial adverts and documentaries. Visit our dedicated desks at Huduma Times Square, Makadara, Kibera. Tunakungoja hapo. Whether it's a casual announcement or a specialized media solution for your business, we are here to serve you. KBC at Huduma Centers, moving closer to you. Your station, your service.
All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, Honorable Francis Mwangangi, Deputy Governor, Machakos County, on set. Gibson Gesora, Advocate of the High Court and also political analyst, also here. Onyangolo, who's a presidential aspirant party leader, Freedom and Opportunity Party. He says that he hails from Kisumu. He was born and raised there, so he knows these people by their names?
Their kin and their relatives.
Names. Okay. And Daniel Juma Mondi, who is the Africa Regional Representative, Global Peace Foundation. The gentleman talking about what is happening in the country. So I asked a question, how big is this goon economy? Because it's a big headache. Daniel, you can pick it. The Africa Regional Peace Foundation must have been involved in some of the peace negotiations across the continent. What are some of the things that you encounter? A well-oiled organization, or what is it all about?
Yeah, so, I mean, we have been in this political violence,
yes,
you know, historically, is something that is common to Africa, especially as we head towards elections. You just had, during the Moi regime, every election year, we used to have land clashes where people used to die. You know, and these land clashes were basically known to be instigated by politicians at that time. And so it is not new, it is not a surprise that as we enter the next election, you know, we also have these things happening. But let me say, as you talk about the goon economy, I think you're talking about a system where young people are being used, are being ferried, are being bought to disrupt, you know, the political rivals, you know, to cause chaos and to, of course, enhance, you know, popularity of those who are paying them. And this is largely, and this is what we've been saying at the Global Peace Foundation, is that we have a big batch of young people who are idle, unemployed, and available for misuse, and available for purchase, and available for incitement by crooked, I want to underline the word crooked, politicians. My lecturer, political science, Professor Nyunguro, taught me political science. He told me that politicians are not worth dying for, and they're not worth killing for. And I agreed with him. And in this case, I don't want to apportion blame, you know, just to politicians within the ruling administration. You know, all politicians, even yesterday as we watched this, yesterday I watched in church when Bishop Orwenjo was carrying the spears. I think someone said that the person who gave him that spear, you know, is the well-known supporter of one of the governors, you know, in Nyanza. And so, as we see this, I don't want to say that this is caused by politicians within the administration, and also our politics. Our politics usually change, as you know. Yeah. Long time ago, and you know, when I did my politics in Uganda, you know, there were days when Raila ODM was in the position, and you do not toe the line of ODM at that time, you would be threatened. You would be, you know, there are people who would, maybe you heard about Men in Black in those days. And we saw, you know, even leaders within the, you know, the ODM then, those who did not toe the ODM line were basically being harassed. So goonship is not, you know, you can't apportion it to one. So this is something that all politicians use, and mine is to urge the administration, the government, you know, and all stakeholders, let us work to empower our young people, let them have employment, let them have money in their pockets, so that they will not be available for misuse by politicians. This, for me, is the best theory of change that we can be able to use. Yeah. Otherwise, saying that, you know, you want to blame that, or you want to blame, and also the police also, they're already independent. You know, they should be independent, unless they choose not to be independent. This is the disappointment that I have, that we have in this country people who have been given jobs to do. The Constitution has given you a job, and with it you have the security of tenure, and you have the powers that the Constitution gives you. But we have people within the administration, and all the administrators, even from Moi, you know, Kibaki, you know, Uhuru, and even now, basically apologists, who before they take action, they want to call some house in the hill and find, what do I do with this case? What do I do here? You get my point? No, this is not something that we should be doing. If you are a leader, if you are a police officer, I'm looking for we should stay in a country whereby, if I'm a police officer, and let's say he's the CS of in the government, and he has been suspected of maybe paying goons or doing something illegal, as a police officer, I should arrest him and take him to court without receiving phone calls from anywhere.
That sounds easier said than done.
But that is what we need to do, because you know, as you know, power is transient. Power is transient, and so you know, right now we have, of course, the former CS for Matiang'i. He was very powerful during the Uhuru regime. Right now he's in the position. But during Matiang'i time, you could not even touch, you couldn't even, people feared him, right? People feared him. But now he is in the position. So what I'm saying is that if you are in government today and you see something wrong, please do it. Do it. Do not wait. Some of these freedoms are not given to us by government. Freedom, as we usually say at the Global Peace Foundation, is given by God, not by the government. Freedom of speech, freedom of association, freedom to do something is given by God.
But even that,
do not wait to get permission from government or from the current regime to do the right thing.
Mheshimiwa Mungangi, when you listen to the two gentlemen, it seems that every scenario of every stage of governance has an agenda. So I would call it agenda carried forward. When you talk about Moi's regime, they had the agenda of what happened then. So this one is just an agenda carried forward. When you talk about agenda carried forward and the goon economy, what would you talk about that? Because it seems where we are headed, we should normalize it and say, okay, now there's another agenda right now, so we should just normalize. The only thing is, don't be a culprit of the goonism.
Okay.
Yeah.
First and foremost, we need to make a decision as a country that we do not want this kind of madness. Secondly, we need to devolve ourselves into developing this country and reducing unemployment. Pick any of today's newspapers and see how many properties across the country that are being auctioned.
Yes.
Meaning our economy is not doing as good as we are being told. Now, nobody should take advantage of that and use the strength of first power, because these boys are being protected by somebody somewhere seated who is supposed to be protecting Kenyans. Number two, this business of carrying an agenda forward, to me, I think I will say, I don't know what my colleagues will say, but I think when you look at post 2002 elections, there was certainly leadership in the country that focused on the country and its citizens. Currently, I will ask a question, one or two. And the first one is, what happened to Asla Fund? Because we seem to have forgotten about Asla Fund and gotten into Uhuru era program that was geared to helping the youth. Now the Nyota program. Number two, there are promises being made. Because we are saying these are unemployed population which are trying to find for something to do.
Yeah.
So my question comes in, how comes this all this violence we are seeing is only affecting one side of the political class, that is the opposition? And you know, when I said we need to be very careful with this Ngunism thing, is because at some point Kenyans are paying taxes, and these taxes are supposed to be used by those in power, first and foremost, to protect life and property. Now, when a section is being protected and there is another one which is not being protected, what happens? The one which is not being protected goes out of their way and look for a means to protect themselves naturally.
Yes.
That is what happens. If Victor, today you decide for sure you have to end my life, I would rather die trying to protect my life than just wait to die just as hopeless as the case might be. So in this case, because the issue was the economy and maybe what, in my view, needs to be done, I think first and foremost we need to do the right thing. We need to observe the rule of law. We need to go back to our constitution. Remember the preamble, we. And we is the people of Kenya. Doesn't matter those at the top. Now, I will tell you for free what is happening. It happens that the person, the point man, the key point man of this government is particularly the Luo Nyanza, is now the person who is heading as PS Interior. And that's why you are seeing all this is happening. I can tell you, for free.
Is it so?
Allow.
Is it entirely so, DG? Is it entirely so?
Yeah. Yes, and I will tell you why. Today, if these boys you are seeing here, or elsewhere, whether in Nyanza, whether in Kisi, Kiembu, whether it is in Ukambani, whether it is in Nairobi, if they are not enjoying state protection, if we do not have what I will call state capture, here is capturing state apparatus, state institutions for private political advancement, I will tell you this will not happen. As we speak, all this group, they will be somewhere now waiting to be processed in a court of law. But because that is not the case, you will, in due course, because Kenyans will make a lot of noise and because we want to appease the international community, you will see the ever speaking Interior PS or CS issuing a statement. We will not condone this. We will deal with this, but the matter ends there. So in this case, the issue of the economy, I think let's not find unemployment as an excuse to advance our hidden agenda, which is politics. This thing is so dangerous, it might threaten the stability of this country ahead of next year's election. And that's why we need to engage one another, ensure our internal security apparatus are well resourced and independent to carry out their mandate, to make sure our country does not have these kind of things. Because when you see them and see the side under which they are operating, definitely you will know, other than the state security, there is public money. Because I don't know whether my colleagues will agree with me, but the kind of monies being carried around weekly, on a weekly basis, from Monday to Monday, by these people, the so-called the state agents, you wonder where is that money when people are, in millions, are sliding back to poverty. Let me tell you, this country, if we don't address this matter, I think we will have no country in due course.
Okay, I'll come back to you. And there are two questions I want to ask you, gentlemen. But before then, Wakili, when you look at that, you know, as a lawyer, and you say goons can actually overrun a court session. Mheshimiwa here, you're also Wakili, and you know what that would also mean. But then look at it this way: the goon economy right now is just 1 year to election. Can you imagine what I'm trying to imagine?
Clearly, Victor, and I will want to start it at constitution without constitutionalism. I think one of the professors, the late Okoth Oganda, did write a paper about that we have constitutions without constitutionalism. Where do I say so? Our constitution is so huge and so has a lot of overarching provisions, but then the practice of constitutionalism is actually dead in the country.
Yes.
Because, well, the reason why I say so, look at the dispensation we are operating under. Are the arms of government, especially the constitutionally independent bodies, working? They are not. Let's start by Parliament. Parliament is long dead. It's long dead. Actually, the people now who are being fought are those members of Parliament who want to stand out.
Yes.
That is one. When they come for the Parliament, as they say, Victor, when they come for you today and you don't speak, they come for someone else next. And so the judiciary most probably will not be able to speak under an era where goons are reigning, because goons will be able to come and capture a court. What can you do? And this goon seems to be so powerful that even the police cannot dare even point a finger at them. The police offers protection to the goons. That is, a friend of mine, I think, was, I mean, we have seen even in the northern Kenya where, even with the advent of Al-Shabaab, people coming and taking over, capturing a government official to the level of, was it a county commissioner or a DC then? And he disappeared for some good time.
Yeah.
So, in that era, do you think a court will come and those cases will be arrested and then the court will sit and be able to preside over a fair hearing for the Al-Shabaab? And because there is no provision. Everybody will be running from that place. That place will be run by those guys. So this is what I'm talking about, that our constitution needs to speak widely to every corner of the country.
Yeah.
We need to start from the head. The head is in Nairobi. Our parliament needs to be able to, right now we should have summoned the police commissioner, the minister interior, to parliament to ask them to account, because parliament is where checks and balances should be conducted. But if that law starts breaking from that particular end, you cannot expect much from the judiciary. When these two arms of government die, we don't have a constitution. We only have a document, but there's no constitutionalism.
Yeah.
That is where we are headed. When that happens, you will be the last line of your own defense. We will become Afghanistan, we will become any kind of country which is run by. You saw Afghanistan, the Taliban took over. Because, I mean, the known government became so unpopular, and till the goons or whatever system which the Taliban, which was known as the system which was supposed to be out of power, took over power. The Americans had to run in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
That is what we're talking about. So we need to be extra careful in us trying to take. We give ourselves the constitution, which is so enabling. This constitution, we need to believe and practice it. In places where, you know, it's quite unfortunate that our constitution was largely crafted from the provisions of the constitution of 1994 for South Africa. But you see where South Africa is headed. Yeah. And now Kenya is following the same, because Kenya and South Africa are the bastions of democracy in Africa. Now, where are we headed? We are headed the Somali way. We are headed, if worse comes to us, we'll be headed the Somali way, we will be headed the DRC way. We will be headed the DRC way. Why am I saying that?
That comparison is painful.
We need to be very careful, because, Victor.
Yes.
Victor, we need to be very careful. And as Kenyans, that's what we need to guard ourselves against, so that we don't get there.
Okay. The question I want to ask all of you here is, we are headed to election. 10th of August is the date. But then, what does this really mean to us? Is waiting for that day to exercise her democracy. With you, Daniel.
Yeah, but first, even before I go there, I don't want to lose hope in our system.
Yes.
It is not. I will not compare us with Somalia yet. Huh? I think what is happening is just some political bad manners that we have within the system. People who have not learned from history, people who are not seeing what is happening in other countries like South Africa and, you know, in the region. Sudan is now ungovernable.
Somalia, just compare.
So we, I think God is giving us warning. He's giving us a warning that if we don't change our ways now, then there could be a problem. And so we always say that everyone, you know, it is good to learn. It is good to even, in my mother, they say tour is good. It's good to just humiliate yourself, so humble yourself and be able to learn. So right now we have a system, our system of security, our internal security. Internal security is actually so important that in this case, this matter is not a one-term, two-term issue. It is not a one-term, two-term issue. It doesn't matter which side of the political divide you are in to know that this is wrong. You get my point? This is wrong wherever, however you look at it. And also, I want to say that, you know, there's also possibility, you know, that even within the opposition, and we have seen in the past where some opposition people, some even confess to abducting themselves. You get my point? So that they could create sympathy, you know, that they were being harassed by government. So when you look at it, also some players within the opposition have the capability of actually, stage managing some of these issues. So, but as I said earlier on, this is wrong. However you look at it, whether you are from the opposition or whether you're from government, the optics are not good. And so for the Wananchi who are waiting to cast their ballots, this is, basically disheartening. Yeah. And this is going to discourage, turnout. It's going to discourage turnout.
Could this be the ultimate agenda?
Of course. I mean, if you have violence or threats of violence, when you create an atmosphere of violence, and when you create an atmosphere of security, that is violence. So you may not have, whenever there's an atmosphere of, say, in any form. And so we want to, again, citizens, it's not a government issue. Citizens in the village in Kisumu, in the village, and my brother here is he grew up in Kisumu, and he says he knows some of those people. Let us call those people that you know. Call them and ask, who sent you? Who paid you? Why are you doing this? And let's have this conversation. Let's have them. Whoever is doing
do you have their numbers?
I don't care who.
Do you have their numbers? Do you have their numbers?
They are in government or in the opposition. Let them know. And even if whoever sent them is going to be in government for another 5 years, the next 10 years is going to be different. Someone else will be in power, and so you will come back to pay for your inactions and actions during your time.
Paying for your sins. Mheshimiwa Nyangolo, look at it this way. The question is, 1 year to the election, and he's raised a very good point to scare Wanjiku.
Before I get to that, and which I'm definitely getting into, I would wish to address, we must also try to provide solutions, as my 3 colleagues have been trying to put it. And maybe to remind ourselves that the best constitution without men of virtue and valor breathing life into it is nothing but a historical document. And in that regard, perhaps it is time we revisited how the men and women in charge of these vital documents are hired. The judiciary, the leader of parliament, the police commission, the EACC, and several such. Originally, we had thought that by creating these independent commissions, we would end up with competent men holding those dockets. But it has just ended up in a situation where still the person the executive desires is the one who controls those documents. Maybe it is high time we revisited how we bring these men and women holding these positions so that we get the right people who can discharge the mandate of the offices without looking to the left or to the right. Other than that, and as my brother from the peace sector has said, we may not have to attribute this thing to the left or to the right, to the government or to the opposition. But we must come to the reality that the effect, the impact is hurting wananchi wa kawaida other than the leaders. And we may pride ourselves that we have not reached Somalia, that we have not reached the level of South Africa. Remember, just a year ago, South Africa was one of the most stable economies in Africa. Today, as we are talking, it could easily go spiral down. So, and this thing can just one day get out of hand. If you realize how the land clashes started in this country, at some point it was political. In no time it became ethnic. And at some point all communities were being evacuated from where they are. So, whichever the ultimate objective of this Goonism is political, and the objective is that Wanjiku must be disturbed to vote in a certain way that the individual sponsor wants her to vote. Perhaps a question we ask, who stands to benefit from Goonism? As a student of law, one thing I was asked that whenever you are investigating or you want to look at the motive, the question to ask is, who stands to gain by the commission or omission leading to a crime? Then you get right. So when we have Goonism in Kisumu, who stood to gain? When we had it in Nyandarua, who stood to gain? And who was the target? The target is that Wanjiku should vote or not vote in a specific way.
So you are a presidential candidate, aspirant, right?
Yes.
Do you have goons to...
Let me tell you, as Onyango Law,
do you?
I do not have goons, I have the people. But let me give you a small example, historical examples.
How are you going to intimidate your opponent?
I don't intend to intimidate them. I intend to persuade them through my manifesto, through the issues I stand for, through the issues that I think can overhaul the structure of this country and how we can live into a peaceful, harmonious, economically successful country in this continent.
You're just becoming,
but other than that,
you're just becoming
when
poetic.
you talk to Gunism, I want to address
you are just becoming poetic. Let's take a break. Let's take a break. Let's take a break. You're just becoming poetic. You
can intimidate them through his ideas.
I wanted, yes.
Maybe.
I wanted to address you how I ended up having goons sometimes back.
Hold that. After this break, stay with us. You tell us how you ended up having some. Okay, let's take a break. We'll break. Stay with us.
I go by the name Obed Ondiek. So currently I am excited and supportive in the FIFA tournament. Okay, for me, I go prefer France to take the FIFA World Cup because in this tournament they have been strong and they have been very, very compacted in their gameplay, the tactics, the way they carry themselves, the way they score goals, the way the defensive passes, all that. Remember to watch KBC channel so that you can follow them, like the news, all the updates and all.
Na support Team France. Team France ndio itawin World Cup. Na pia mkuje muwatch huku. Support. Yeah. Na muwatch KBC live.
Tunatambulika kwa mandhari yetu ya kuvutia,
tamaduni zetu, ukarimu wetu, vyakula vyetu, uchapakazi,
na pia kwa sauti tofauti za watangazaji wetu waliobobea.
Libengo niko hapa aka upcoming sponsor. Bila shaka hapa ni kama Pedeshe, Ma Deep State, pia vile Cartels.
Tunaenzi talanta za pwani, tunakuza talanta za hapa kwetu nyumbani.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tuko mjengoni kama kawa na wanangu wengine wawili.
Usikose kutegea 103.1 Pwani FM, station ambayo itakupa fursa ya kupata uhondo kamili wa pwani na kuleta Wakenya pamoja.
Pwani FM Top.
All right, welcome back. It's now just the tail end of this discussion, and I believe that you have gained something. So, you wanted to say something without getting into details? Now you're a presidential candidate. I asked, do you have people protecting you? I don't want to call them goons or something.
Whether goons or not, we will not help this country if we cannot go to the realities and the truthful foundations about these things.
Yes.
And the Bible tells us the truth shall set you free. So if we want to fight this issue of goonism, we must find out how it starts, how it works. I am a politician. Mwangangi here is a politician. Our two colleagues are in the sector that is rather not so much at the heart of it, but working to ensure it does not happen. And I want to share this small experience I had. At some point in my political life, I was running for a political office in Kisumu town. And it was in ODM, and we were running for an elective position. I was seeking to be the MP for Kisumu East. Everywhere I turned, and that time the MP was a very violent man, and I had thought that I would use the power of persuasion to convince people to vote me, and they were actually joining me in numbers. So what happens? Every corner I turned, goons were beating us and throwing us off board. Every point I went, we were being beaten. So I went and reported to the party that I'm unable to campaign. I'm being beaten, but this guy is so violent against me everywhere. The party leadership told me that is how politics is being played. So I was like left on my own, struggling to find a position. And I was very young. I was not as I am now. So what did I do? I ended up also getting some young men to protect us. And my command to them was always simple. Never provoke violence. Do not fight anybody. But those who come to attack us, please give them twice the dose they have brought. So the end result is this the MP then did not know that we were now more prepared than him. And he tries one time. And the crushing violence he met, I think he never repeated it. But do you know what happened? He happened to have also been a relative to the party leader. I was disqualified from running for beating someone who had beaten me repeatedly. And that marked the end of my attempt to be the MP.
What you've said is perhaps the end result of what's happening.
It is a vicious thing. You are in politics, you do it, and you may survive or not survive. You are not there, you don't do it, you'll be crushed out. The end result is we are building a culture that will come to consume us someday, all of us.
I want to ask you, Mheshimiwa Mwangangi, do you have goods? Don't just ask an open question. Do you?
Do I have goons?
Yes.
To do what?
To protect you and to protect against your opponents in Machakos.
I can tell you, goons, and my colleagues will agree with me. The only goons in Ukampani are those for Uda men. Because they can't go anywhere without them.
No, even you.
I can't tell you.
What about you?
No. We have the people. We have got no problem. We have no problem. Let me tell you how politics works. Do you know why these goons, I end up with the goons?
Tell me.
Simply because I know I have a problem with the people.
You are unpopular.
Number two, you are very unpopular.
Yes.
Number two, even if I'm attending a funeral, I must have those goons and also hire some people so that they can cheer me. Just to create a certain perception. And that is what is happening in Ukambani. For those with the people, you need to walk anywhere and the people are with you. They will even protect you. You try, you'll be told, hey,
the confidence.
Yes.
The confidence you have.
So, in this case, if I were in Nairobi, definitely yes. Yes. It will be, because I know the government is not protecting me. It's protecting those opposing me. So in this case, what I need to do, I have to do. As long as it is right.
Yes.
But if what I'm supposed to do and it is right, it's constitutional, and somebody thinks I should not do it, I must look a way of doing it.
Okay, now that your mic is still on, I have two questions here for you. Yes. Number one is what's on the paper. Another one is another question. What do you make of that? Now, we are just closing the debate. What do you make of that newspaper where the president said that he still has the company with him, even if your party leader doesn't join him?
Okay, the president...
Was it to join him?
No. That is the next president next year. How can he join him? That is the person President Ruto should be preparing to hand over to. Kalonzo is seeking for presidency of Kenya, not to join this administration.
He's not declared. He's not declared.
So what I'm telling you,
at least Onyango has declared.
No,
but Kalonzo has not.
Kalonzo has done it several times alone. You are becoming an UDA sympathizer. He has done it severally. So about president and saying he is not going to abandon the region, it is his constitutional mandate. In fact, I think we should be having a commission to oversee how, for example, in counties, how do we operate there? Are we in compliance with the law in terms of development? Because it is not a question of abandoning. You you are a trustee of the public money, and the constitution dictates fairness and ensuring equitable distribution of resources. So it is not a question of abandoning. It is a question of doing what he is supposed to do. Actually, it is his constitutional mandate for him to visit any part of this country.
He's free to do so.
Okay? Even developing this country, every part of this country.
Another question. What do you make of C.S. Ruku being installed as a Kamba elder?
Obviously, he's not.
But he was installed.
By hired fellows to do so.
Come on.
That does not make him one. Let me tell you. If today I sit here, you work in this state broadcaster, Victor Olo. If I declare myself the board chair of the board, KBC, will you say yes? Obviously, you know him. If I declare myself as a CEO of this great organization, will I be this? Will I be the obvious? You know who that person is. So Ruku can do anything that he wants to do just for him to be happy. You know, they have a lot of monies to splash everywhere and do what they want to do. And I can tell you, Kenyans are watching. You will see in the next election, we will have these goons. We will do what we think we are doing to embrace ourselves, to ensure we are popular. We are creating certain perceptions, but Kenyans will do justice, I believe.
I want to do something quite off here today. We have Mheshimiwa Onyango Leo here, who says that he wants to be the president of Kenya, which we still wish you all the best. It's a huge battle. Wakili, do you have a question for him? A quick one. A quick one.
I mean, the one I had already asked and explained himself, but looking forward, he should be able to tell us what kind of country envisions now that he wants to be president. Does he want to get into power with Goonism?
Thank you. Clear question.
Thank you. In fact, from the name of my party, Freedom and Opportunity Party, I will tell you in what kind of country we are looking forward to. But in a sentence, we are looking for a united, prosperous country. That country cannot prosper if that prosperity is to be a serious prosperity with Goonism or with disrespect to the rule of law. We are looking at a country where the rule of law not only forms the bastion of our day-to-day living, but where the agencies of government are independent and are working according to their mandate. We are literally looking at a country where the citizens will stand tall and proud to say, I can do my business, I can interact and associate without looking to the left or to the right, whether I'm dealing with the right person or not.
Okay. Mheshimiwa Mwangangi, question to him?
Maybe his policy on top of what you have said, his policy on inclusivity. And fairness.
Very good.
Thank you. Maybe
he ties that with how is he likely to address the issue of wealth creation, employment and wealth creation, to address the question of unemployed population in this country.
Very good. Policy and unemployment.
Thank you. We had a small earlier discussion here as to what would be entailed in my manifesto. And I had shared informally outside the desk that I would not pretend to be an engineer, to be a medic, to be everything. That once the party is in place, we'll put in our experts so that we come up with best ways through which we can achieve issues to do with governance, issues to do with infrastructure, issues to do with healthcare, etc., etc. But all that notwithstanding, it is, as a leader, it is important that you have got the zero draft of where you want to take the people. Number one, the biggest enemy of this country towards inclusivity is what we call tribalism, which over the years we try to run away from. Today our leaders are fighting to form government, and you can see them desperately looking at making the tribal alliances other than ideas alliances, so that if you have things that are close to the things I have, we could form a coalition. But if your things are diametrically different from what I have, we have no business forming alliances, because definitely we are going to fight at the tail end of forming our government. So as a party, we insist that tribalism is a big enemy that has to be fought. Number two, that corruption has affected us so much. But there's a very simple way to fight corruption, in my view. Because we have tried it. We have changed the heads of EACC so repeatedly. From the time it was cast out to date, the same results. Sometimes I think when EACC is being used to launder corruption. My view is, can you please tame the appetite of the ultimate leader on corruption? Once the leader has controlled appetite towards state resources, my brother, the rest will have to toe the line. I'll refer you to the case of Murtala Mohammed. Sorry, not the case, to the instance of Murtala Mohammed as president of Nigeria. Within less than 6 months, there was order in Nigeria because the head was determined that things must change. Things will not start by our citizens. Things start with that leader. For us who come from the lecture, we tell you that fish starts rotting at the head. So it must start with me being held accountable and being committed to the things I'm talking, rather than just being rhetorical and being a good speaker and being a man who can persuade and move crowds. We must elect men of virtue, men of valor, and those men of virtue will be known by their histories. We are not getting men from nowhere.
Very good. Daniel?
Mine is to, of course, wish you well, and I think two questions. One is, if you do not make it, what is your plan? Are you willing to work with other parties or other coalitions, so that you are able to run the next government? Raila Odinga did not join government, but he was able to work jointly with the winning candidate to be able to attract some things being done in the area. So are you willing to also be able to join other persons in future? And also, I know in this country we have people who form parties just so that they can have a seat at the table. Are you using your party to negotiate for a cabinet position in the next government, either with President Ruto or President Kalonzo if he wins, or what is your game plan?
Thank you. Good. That's a very important question. I wish we were in an environment where such questions from my brothers would come up. Number one, I think if the one thing ever undermined democracy in this country, it was this aspect of the opposition losing elections and then they join government at all costs. So that whenever, like ODM you talk, would lose elections and they lost them in draws, they would insist they are in the next government. They would go to the streets, they would go anywhere until they get into that government. That must come to an end if we want to bring a party, if we want to bring our country to some stage. Because we must build an opposition on issues. It cannot be that I can form a coalition with you, tomorrow I form with him, tomorrow I form with the other one, and yet you have diametrical views on issues of governance generally. We must have parties that are on issues, so that if Mr. Mwangangi's party has got issues that correlate with mine, and he forms government, I should be willing to say, Bwana Mwangangi, we join coalition, and on the following we agree. On these other dockets, then we get a middle ground. Other than that, I'm not joining your government. It's like asking the far-right party, because the communist far left have formed the government, and for the sake of being in government, in the guise of bringing development to my people, we just join. Then we undermine democracy. I will be willing to join anybody who forms government, so long as his party is espousing issues that are close to our issues. But I will not join government for the sake of being in government. I would rather build my narrative in the opposition.
Okay.
Up to such a time that I'm able to persuade a majority of Kenyans to elect.
I also have one question, and I know you can answer this in 30 seconds. This one perhaps Mwangangi will be so happy about. What will be your take on devolution? Because the county governments have been crying that they are not getting enough support. In the next financial year, their budgets have been cut from 524 billion shillings. That is the expected amount they wanted. So what is your take on devolution?
A great idea that has been, a great idea that I think has been betrayed by the implementers on the ground.
Yes.
Devolution was brought so that development could go to our people. Devolution as implemented is a way through which local leaders line up their pockets. I'm not saying all. But at the end, 20 years from the time of devolution, there will be counties that will be so great.
Okay.
There will be counties that people would wonder, where did the money go? Because some people are literally not stealing that money, they're looting it. Some people are putting it to good use. It is a great idea, a wonderful idea that has absolutely been betrayed by the implementers, and we must be bold to take action against them. We must accept that crime has no statute of limitation. And those who stole in the first administration, second administration, whichever administration, as a party, FOP, if we form government, we are coming for you.
Thank you. All right. I think we should end it up there. Don't come for us. We are good citizens. We are good citizens. I think we have to end it there.
By the way, there is a question you asked me, and now that the presidential candidate has addressed it, and you have asked.
We want to go to Kisumu.
Yes, the question of devolution. That is where we need to focus on. As president is trying to tour parts of the country, I know he's facing an election next year. The focus should be actually devolution.
Yes.
Because the current administration is doing everything 100% of what is the mandate of the counties.
I hope something's going to be done, because the drafter of the Constitution actually had a very good idea for the devolution. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being part of the show. I mean, today was just a class moment. We need to stop all this madness. It's not so good, because the gentleman, the old mzee who was crying for his son in Keumbu, had a very painful tear. That, I mean, he's lost a son because of goonism and because of politics. And those are just brothers, the people they live with, who clobbered him to death. I mean, we just have to be sober. All right, thank you so much. Honorable Francis Mwangangi, Deputy Governor, Machakos County, asante sana. Gibson Gesore, an advocate of the High Court and a political analyst. Thank you, my brother, for being a part of the show. And Mheshimiwa Nyangolo, we wish you all the best. He is also the party leader and Freedom and Opportunity Party and presidential candidate aspirant 2027. Asante sana. And of course, Daniel Jumamondi, Africa representative, Global Peace Foundation. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, actually, let's go to Kisumu. Simon Achola is on standby. Kwalek, today he's giving us a feel of what's happening there. Simon, we've talked about Kisumu quite a lot today, and you are there. Take it over.
Well, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. My name is Achola Simon, and of course, this is the Western Spectrum, a program that comes to you every Monday from 8 to 9, bringing you issues that affect the people over this part of the country, and of course, to a large extent, the entire country. And of course, the beehive of activities here. Victor, when you look at exactly what is happening in our background, we are right time. I mean, the viewer is actually right on time for this particular program, while we are actually right on time to capture the pictures of people or the fishermen and those involved in that value chain. Collect fish from the lake, from fishermen who've actually spent the entire night in the lake looking for fish, and of course, women, men, and young people also here trying to buy fish from the boats. And then, of course, from there, they'll be heading to various markets, various eateries, and every other other place to ensure that indeed they can actually sell their fish stocks. But also critically, I'll just tell you that the produce in this country is about 160,000 metric tons of fish each year to around 300,000 metric tons. That is, of course, against the country's demand of 600,000 metric tons of fish. The question then you'll be asking yourself is that then how do we bridge the gap to ensure that indeed there are about 300,000 to 400,000 metric tons that is a deficit that can actually be produced here in the country because of the potential that has in terms of providing employment opportunities for the young people and of course each and everyone involved in that value chain. And of course young people have actually been engaging and taking a step towards ensuring that indeed they can actually tap in the vast potential of this sector. And key amongst the issues they've actually actively engaged themselves in is the use or adaptation of cage fish farming in Lake Victoria. But of course, those that have actually been online have seen quite a number of times that stories that we've actually told of fish dying in fish cages each and every day. And of course, we have a young farmer here in Kisumu who is actually engaging in cage fish farming, but they are adapting AI in terms of ensuring that indeed they can actually be given fast-time or real-time information of exactly where the oxygen levels, the mineral levels, and of course the pH levels in the lake, so that then they don't lose their fish. Karibu sana, Dennis. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Tell me, when did you involve yourself, when do you start involving yourself in cage fish farming?
Thank you so much, Bwana Simon. My name is Dennis Mafimbo. I'm a fish farmer at Dunga Beach. I started this program or the farm a few years ago, that is like 5 years ago. And from then, we've been struggling with rearing fish. And of course, we've been facing so many challenges.
Dennis, before we go to the challenges, because of course there are a number need to surmount, right? The question then we'll be asking ourselves is that as a young person, what actually prompted you to get into this sector?
I've been, before I started fish farm, I was a fisherman. And therefore, I could spend the whole night in the lake and then come back to the land with nothing. So the demand of fish was so high. And then by then the supply was very low. And it resulted to a very high price of the fish. And so I came up with an idea. I copied it from somewhere. We had some guests from Japan that came up with a new technology, and that is now the fish farming.
The cage farming. So we'd want to know how many cages do you have in the lake, and how popular is this activity in the lake, and especially in this region?
Thank you so much. We have so many cages around the lake. To be specific, in Dunga Beach, we have over 300 fish cages, and they belong to different people. I only have maybe a few of them. And I can say it's a good business.
Mbona unaogopa kutuambia? Ni ngapi hizi? How many are they?
I have different cages of different sizes. I have the plastic cages, which is now recommended by the government. I also have the metal cages of different sizes. That is from 5 meters by 5 meters. We move all the way to 12 meters by 6 meters. And we also have round cages that measure up to 20 diameter. Yes.
Fantastic. Action. You've said when we started the conversation, you said that one of the challenges that you actually met while fishing at night was that you'll actually go out in the lake, spend the entire night and then we're coming back, of course the fish stocks are not there, and you also come back empty-handed. So in terms of production, how reliable is the issue of cage fish farming? Is it something that a young person would actually go in knowing that indeed at the end of the 6 months, at the end of whichever period that I'm supposed to be keeping this fish, that I'll actually be in a position to get enough stocks for myself? And how predictable is it?
There we are certain that at the end of the year we must harvest fish. So it's something that you can be certain about. Yes.
But then, how do we get more people? Because as we all know, the climate change and all other factors that are actually affecting the lake and the basin as a whole, the fish stock has actually dwindled for over the years. And the demand, when you look at the demand, the statistics that I began with, between 170 to 200,000 metric tons to about 300,000 that is actually produced in the country, vis-a-vis the demand of 600,000 metric tons. How then do we bridge the gap? When you look at what is happening in the lake, do you think we are putting enough effort in terms of ensuring that more and more people can actually adapt this technology, cage fish farming, so that then we can actually get where we're supposed to be?
Actually, I think for us to bridge this gap, we need more fish cages. And I would encourage anyone that would like to venture into this business, that it's a good one. And we should have more people. And but again, we have some other challenges, which maybe we'll talk about later.
Yes. Saying that we can actually get more and more fish. So then how do we get this support? Are we getting the support from our own pockets, or then youth who actually want to participate or be actively engaged in cage fish farming? Are they getting this support from non-state actors, non-governmental organizations, or they're getting it from county governments? Where exactly are they getting the support, or this is an individual effort?
I'll say that this is an individual effort. But again, we also get some little support from the NGOs. Government, they have been silent on this. They are only planning to increase the tax. Yes.
It's a complaint that everybody is having. One of the major challenges that we've had, and we've covered you a number of times, right, is the fact that you wake up in the morning, you're going to feed your fish, and they are all dead. How many times have you encountered this, and what exactly is the issue?
We have encountered that twice personally. I've encountered that twice. That was last year and this year. And this year I lost over 10 million. Last year it wasn't that big. But we are being affected by so many things. Number one, we have got these big companies that discharge their untreated waste into the lake, and they have been affecting us so much. Yes.
Dennis, 10 million, you are saying it casually, but when you lose 10 million shillings, where do you start from?
Like I said earlier, that I've got more cages. And therefore, 10 million is just like 3 cages. Yeah. So if I lose 3 cages, that will be equivalent to 10 million. Yes.
Like, how do you pick up yourself from that state and go back? Because even as we speak right now, some of your colleagues are actually in the lake mending the nets, and they're anticipating that on Thursday there'll be fingerlings that actually be brought. How then do you pick up yourself as a young person, as a fisherman or a fish farmer in the lake? How then do you pick up yourself to ensure that you actually continue this venture?
Whenever we lose such amount of money, now we have to wait for like 6 to 8 months so that we harvest the other ones, and now we use that money to maybe buy fingerlings for these cages that we lost. But we don't always expect anything from the government, and maybe the NGOs might step in, but may not support you fully.
move from a situation whereby we are expecting our fish to actually die in the cages and waiting for another 6 or 8 months before then we can actually restock them. Are there modalities that you people have actually explored? Because I remember the government has been very keen on beach management units to try and make them, convert them into financial or as circles, to try and convert them into circles, and actually inculcate that culture of saving and ensuring that those that are actually directly involved in a fish sector can actually draw their resources from those circles and actually get resources to restock their fish if they want to. Are those services available in these beaches? And is it something that young people are actually exploring in terms of ensuring that they can actually as a fallback position when, this happens?
No, I would say no. No, yeah.
Why are you guys not doing so?
I remember last year when we had the highest mortality, we were promised that we will get compensated. We waited for that. Up to date, we've never seen any form of help from anyone, to be specific, from the government, as they promised.
Young people are actually adopting technology and saying that this is what we are doing with our technology to ensure that life is easier, that we can actually rake in more resources, and we can actually make profits. And you are amongst the 3 people in this region that have actually adopted AI in terms of ensuring that they understand the mineral levels in the water, they understand the pH levels in the water, and oxygen levels in water. So then we can actually avert the issue of losing fish each and every year, because then we are doing a zero-sum exercise where you sit and you are basically sure that your fish will die at some point, right? So tell us about that tool and what actually prompted you guys to actually adopt AI in terms of safeguarding your fish in the cages.
Before we introduced the AI tool, we would move from one place to another. For instance, when you lose some fish here, then you will move your cages from this point to another point. But again, we came up with the idea of the AI tool, which has been so helpful to us, because of late we've been getting data and information from the AI tool that we have installed around our cages. So the AI tool, it really helps us a lot. Number one, it will give you the exact water parameter. That is the water quality, that is the water pH, salinity. All that, we'll get them in our phone. So we introduced the AI tool, and it has got an antenna that is connected on the land. So the AI tool, we use it inside the lake. But again, we've got an antenna which translates all that information, and it sent us into our phones.
How important?
That is very, very important, because it will inform you when the dissolved oxygen is very low. It will inform you when the water pH drops. You know, for the optimum water pH, it should range from 6.5 to 8.5. When it's become too acidic, the AI tool will also advise you on what to do. For instance, when the water pH drops to 1 or to 2, that is a very strong acid. Now the AI tool will now provide you with the information on how to use the sea salt to moderate the water pH, or to equalize the water pH. And again, the AI, when it detects that the dissolved oxygen is very, very low, Sometimes it's go down up to 0. So when it's detect that it has gone down, it will send you information again on what to do. So you can either move your cage, or you can use an aerator. Aerator, you can purchase them from all these aqua shops, though it's a little bit expensive. But if you use an aerator, you will find yourself saving your fish from mortality.
Yeah, I touched on something that I wanted to ask, is that when the AI tool gives you information, the water parameters around that cage, right? And you feel that the parameters are not conducive for your fish, then as you alluded to it, is that when fish dies here, then you need to move the cage to somewhere else, right? Does it also indicate some of the toxins that are actually coming in? And they say that this is the type of toxins that are actually coming into the lake. And then it is simple or easier for you guys to know that this is coming from this direction and this is how we're going to deal with it.
The recent AI that we installed, it has got the ability to do so. It has got the ability to detect any form of waste, and it will translate it in a way that you can understand it. So, and that's why I said that we've got big companies around here that produces they produce untreated waste into the lake. And the recent AI tool has got the ability to detect that this is an acid that is coming in. This is a very harmful substance that is getting into the lake. And you understand that this is also like a gulf. So the waves around this region, or the water current around this region, are not that strong to mix up this harmful substance and spread it into the lake, so that it can reduce its it can reduce on the rate on how it can kill the fish. So the recent AI has got that ability, and it can really detect anything.
Anyone who's watching this saying and asking themselves question, how safe is the fish that we actually producing from cages around this place? Because you say, of course, the current, the waves do not have, because this is a gulf, then the current do not actually ensure that there's enough aeration as much as we would want. And then also coupled with the fact that the big companies in the basin keep releasing the effluent into the lake. How safe is the fish that you're actually producing in here, and what modalities are we putting in place to ensure that as we produce, we can actually test the fish before we release it to the market?
That's a good question. The fish that we produce here are very, very healthy. The fish is something that it's afraid of any toxic substance. So whenever it inhales maybe a little amount of toxic, it will definitely die. So whenever you say we harvest fresh fish, it means that it's good for consumption. Yes, and that's why we always test it before we even sell it to the other people, or before we take it into the market, just to show them that it's very healthy.
Given this, how then do we get more people? How do you convince more young people to actually start engaging in these activities? Clearly, there's potential, vast potential that is actually remains untapped. How then do you ensure that more and more young people like you are actually venturing into this business, so that then they can actually exploit this potential?
What we are doing right now, we are creating youth groups to involve more youths into these activities. So after creating youth groups, we donate some little cash, and we involve everyone in this group to take part in this activity, the fish farming. Now you'll find that like around here, we have so many youth groups. They are about 5, and each group has got like 12 to 20 members. So when you give them, or when you donate to them 1 kg, all of them get involved in this activity. It helps in a good way. It helps them for their daily life. It's also reduce the rate of crime around this area. That's why we are so safe here. And again, you also involve some as securities at night, because you also have to spend the night over there and watching over the cages.
Let's talk about value chain. When you look at the fish sector, one of the issues that have actually constantly come up in the recent past has been the fact that we consume just about 30% of fish. The rest of the products are actually thrown: the bones, the scales, the fish mondo, and even the skin. So we actually just utilize about 30 to 40% of the fish. Are we looking at, as young people in this sector, are we looking at how we can actually cash in more from the fish to ensure that, one, the scales will be used for something else, the bones will be used for something else, the skin will be used for something else, and even just the fish itself, because when you sell it as a full package, as a whole package, then you get very little. But when you put it into fillets and you use other components, then you are basically using everything from the leg, from the fish, and you are getting more. So what are we doing as young people around the lake to ensure that indeed we can actually expand that value chain and exploit it to the maximum?
There was a program that we started that was dealing with fish filleting, because we were looking into a situation whereby we can use the flesh, we can consume that, we can use the bones for some other activities or some other things, and we can use the air sac or the airbag, that is the mondo. We can use it for to make some little threads that can also be used in hospitals. So the program failed because there was a lack of support from maybe the government and some other NGOs. So right now, and that's why we shifted all the way to rearing only tilapia, because tilapia, we consume 80% of it. What we throw away is only the bones, but we are consuming everything. So when it's come to Nile perch, you are right that we only consume 30%. That is only the flesh. Right now we are throwing away the air sac or the airbag, that is the mondo. We are throwing away the gills, which can also be used in another way. And we are also throwing away the scales and the skin. So as at now, we are working on a certain program that will ensure that we consume that Nile perch. Maybe 90% of it is being consumed. Maybe the bones in those are the only things that we will be throwing away. But the skin, the gills, the airbag, we'll be starting using that to make some other products.
And even the oil. How do you accelerate the process? Because the thing is that we keep saying that we are planning. We are very good at planning in this country. We are very good at planning and hoping that things will actually materialize at some point. How then do we accelerate the process? How do we create synergies with other institutions, the government, non-state actors, so that then this process can actually be accelerated? What needs to be done in your view?
I think we really need to involve government in this, and they also need to step in to help us, because when they do so, I think so many things will change. We will also start rearing tilapia, and I think there will be job creation again. There will be more opportunities again. As at now, I have a group of 10 energetic guys that we have really involved government in this to step in and help us. We are targeting on a way that we can use the air sac to create some shoe, and the gills. We also want to use them to make some brush, and also we want to use the skin to make some plastics. So that is the program that is underway right now, and we are hoping that the government will chip in, because we've knocked those officers and we are only waiting for their feedback.
The biggest complaint for many financial institutions and even non-governmental organizations that actually worked around the lake has been the fact that people involved in the fish sector, one, they do not want to save in the bank. They want to get their money today, spend it the entire night, and then go back to the lake again and look for more resources. How are we coping with this? Because this is a culture that's been there for quite some time, and you're a young man. And the figures they've actually told me, 10 million plus. That is quite some amount of money. Hii pesa unapata alafu unapotelea hapa town ama unafanya namna gani?
Simon, it's true that the fishermen don't want to save their money in the bank. That is very true. Right now, I think only 20% of the fishermen are doing savings with the bank and with the SACCOs. The biggest challenge we have around here is we really don't trust the banks.
Why? Why so? Why? Unaenda kuangalia bank kama pesa yako iko sawa? Kama umefunga. Why don't you trust the bank?
So again, I sat down with these guys and I've been asking them the same question. Same question. These fishermen, they need quick money. And I would advise that if we can have SACCOs that can be giving loans.
Quick money, you mean the liquid cash that can actually be used today and tomorrow and the day after, as and when they want, and not actually go to queue in the banks waiting for their money to be approved, right?
Exactly. You see, let's take an example of the activities that are going on here right now. See, these fishmongers, they get their fish from the boat. But have you noticed that all of them are paying in cash? It means that in the next 2 hours, these fishermen, they will need their money in cash and they would want to spend it up to evening, and then they go back to the lake. So they don't always want to save in the bank. That is the major challenge we have right here.
But that is strange because this part we are famed for one, adopting technology and using, cards and gadgets in terms of just transacting. How then do we instill that culture of one, saving, allowing our cash to be? Because when you have 1 million shillings, right, surely you cannot spend it in a day. And what happens to the remaining cash when you go back to the lake? Do you put it in the bank? Do you carry it along into the lake? Or what exactly happens? So, there's need to actually ensure that people can actually save, and institutions can actually tap into the vast resources that are actually into the lake. The question then I need to ask next is, clearly from the discussion we've had, this is a sector that can actually employ a number of youths, that can actually provide real jobs for the youth. How then do we ensure that more and more people are actually into this sector, one, and then two, an advice to the young people out there, what do they need to do to ensure that they can actually start this business? Or this is a closed-knit business unit that very few people are actually allowed to get into?
No, everyone is allowed to.
So how then do you, get us in the lake and actually now begin the journey?
If you want to begin your journey here, first of all, you need to have capital. That is mandatory. Number two, you need to live with the BMU so that they can give you space. Why do you need to live to involve the BMU in this? Because when we will have the mortality, the BMU will collect that data and submit them to the government. When you need a space, BMU must be involved, because when anything happens to you, the BMU will be responsible for everything. So after that, you will need to look for a good caretaker. What do I mean by saying caretaker? Caretaker is someone that will be feeding the fish every day, will be having the discussion with these guys, And again, the caretaker will be looking after the cages, that is at night and daytime. So having that in mind, after having a good caretaker, then you will be good to go. You will be starting your business.
Is the security of these cages. I know you have alluded to it by one, having a caretaker, and then two, also ensuring that some of the youth that used to be idle here can actually take care of those or provide security in the lake. How then do you ensure that indeed the fish, that you have real-time information of what is happening in the lake, and if need be, that you can actually involve the police or security agents in terms of just ensuring that their cages are safe? Because an investment of 10 million shillings is no child play, and that cannot just be left to an individual.
So right now we don't involve our police officers, because police officer, I hope no one will be able to spend the whole night in the lake and maybe the whole day in the lake, because they are afraid of the lake. That is number one. Now, what we normally do, we have youths around here that we always involve as security guards to look after the cages. That is number one. Number two, apart from the AI tool, we have also installed so many CCTVs around. So whenever any activity is going on, I will be able to see it here in my phone. So when the things are not right, I'll be able to notice that. When we have an intruder, I'll be able to know that and take an action. That is, that's where we now involve the police to come and maybe do some arrest. That is if we have an intruder. And again, our security guards, we have gadgets for communications. So when everything is not right, we'll be able to. Yeah.
In conclusion, Dennis, there's a very sensitive topic that we want to discuss in conclusion. And this has been the issue of the spread of HIV/AIDS in the beaches, right? And I have listened to you, and I have listened to the amount of money that you're actually talking about and the potential of this sector. One, how is this important, cage fish farming? How is it important in the stop of the spread of the HIV virus in the region?
I've heard about such stories about the spread of HIV and AIDS along this region. And I want to say that there was a popular belief that around the lake, the spread of HIV and AIDS is very high. I think that is not right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. That is wrong. Let me talk. Let me give you a report concerning that when it relates to fish farming. You know, around the fish farm, I think we don't always have time for other things. It has been work from morning to evening. So sasa wewe unachoka, utakuwa na hiyo time ya kuspread hii HIV sangama. Ndio nakuelezea. And again,
the argument has been that when you come from the lake and at night, the lady who actually picks that fish from the boat must either be your girlfriend or your wife, because of the dwindling fish stock. Because if you're coming back with just a kg of fish, and we have all these people waiting for that fish, then it means there'll be some preferential treatment. Either that person will give you more money, or there's something else they are giving you. So how rampant is that?
Whatever you are talking about, it used to be there, but it stopped. Let me give you an example of where we are right now at Donga Beach. The BMU did away with that. So right now, if you want to pick the fish from the boat, maybe the fish is just a kg, and we have a queue of maybe 10 ladies. Yes. Whatever we'll do, we'll just hike the price of the fish, so that whoever meets that target or whoever meets that price we'll fetch away the fish. But hiyo kitu ya sijui you need to be my girlfriend, hiyo iliisha. Hiyo iliisha.
Then the other question is about what we're getting from the cages. Is it the medicine or the antidote to the dwindling fish stock in the lake? Is it predictable? Are you sure that when I'm going out today, I'll be getting enough fish stock for my people out there?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. When there's no mortality, I'm telling you, we can meet the target, because whatever we are doing there, we always have a target to meet. Let's talk about maybe you want to produce maybe 40 tons. That is in a month. So whenever you start harvesting, you will have to make sure that you meet your target of 40 tons. And that's why we have so many cages, and we do restocking like each and every month, so that the supply chain can always continue. We don't want a situation whereby we can do harvesting for 1 month, then wait for another 1 year. Yeah. So we always have cages in sequence. After every month, we install another one. After every month, or after every 2 weeks, we install another cage. So that when we start harvesting, the harvesting will flow throughout the year, so that we meet the demand of the consumers. Yes.
In conclusion, anything else that you'd want to tell the relevant authorities, those that are actually involved in this sector, the researchers, the government, the county government, and of course other players like non-governmental organizations? What do you want to tell them, so that then, of course, we can actually grow this sector? Just 1 minute before we conclude.
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank the fisheries. They have been supporting us, not financially, but with a lot of research. They always do a lot of research and then give us a report. Number two, I would encourage the government to step in and help us. That is to reduce price of feeds, and also to support young people, maybe the youth, just to reduce the crime rate. I also want to thank some non-governmental organizations that have been standing with us, that have been supporting us. Some have been doing a good job.
That is Dennis Mafimbo, one of the cage fish farmers here in Dunga Beach. Of course, just delving deeper on exactly what is happening here by the Dunga Beach, and of course calling on the youth to venture into this field. He says that just a couple of cages, you are able to actually nail about 10 million shillings and over. Now that is quite some amount, but of course also calling on the line institutions, the government institutions, and of course county government, to ensure that indeed they can actually invest in this sector, to ensure that indeed they can actually grow this sector. But quite interesting is the fact that they're actually employing the use of AI to ensure that they can actually detect water parameters, and they can actually tell where the affluents are coming from. What we'll of course be asking him off camera is what they're actually doing to ensure that indeed they can actually talk to these institutions and actually talk to relevant line institutions, so that then these companies can actually stop releasing the affluents into the lake. Of course, this is a conversation that will continue online, and of course offline. You can actually continue this conversation around Achola Simon. You can also Achola on all social media handles. You can also do it courtesy of KBC Channel 1 on all social media platforms. This conversation has also been going on live on Mayenga digital platforms. So this is a conversation that will continue, and of course we'll brief our listeners and viewers, of course, in our subsequent bulletin. On behalf of each and every person who's actually made this possible, thank you very much, Dennis, for finding time to actually come and be with us for this show. For each and everyone actually involved, in ensuring that this broadcast comes to you live to Nairobi, Simon Nyamatiko, and of course Martin Kibuti, Dennis Edwin Otieno, and Magdalena Kibuti also on the cameras. It's a thank you from us here in Kisumu, and we take you back to Broadcasting House in Nairobi.
For England, he's got support down this near-hand right side. It's Saka wanting it quickly. Eze, Saka's still going. Now he's got a chance to shoot himself, but it's straight at Neelan.
Yeah, shouldn't be straight at Neelan. He's got to pick out maybe another player. England back in.
And they could wrap it up here. It's opened up edge of the area. Good chance, Spence. Saka now. What a miraculous save by Neelan.
How good has Saka been? But Neelan there, you'll see the difference here. The shot's very similar distance, but he pushes it away and it's harder for Saka. Nobody...
The Bodhi tree's on fire. What? The Bodhi tree's on fire? Don't pretend that you're not involved. You're saying that the anomalies are related to the tree's destruction? The trees stabilize our space. When the pagoda tree was destroyed, the human world and ghostdom went through something similar. Didn't your accomplice tell you that?
I'm not interested in having a debate with you.
Thank you for staying with us. We now get into Family Check, and today's conversation is a conversation that we all need to be part and parcel of. I mean, when you talk about communicating, and if we look over the years, how forms of communication have been evolving over the years, from the times when we used to write letters to each other, as a form of communication, to the times when we had landlines, to the times when the mobile phones were introduced, and now with the presence of social media, communicating has become easier. But has it really become easier? Well, the conversation or the question that we are posing to you today is, are phones replacing real conversations? That is the question that I am asking you, our viewer, this morning. Are phones replacing real conversations? And you can be part and parcel of this conversation. You can send in your WhatsApp message on the number 0707 303 212. 0707 303 212. Let us know what you think about this. Are phones replacing real conversations? You can also be able to call in live and we'll get to listen to you. Now, I won't be having this conversation myself. I have guests who will be helping in just finding ways in which maybe we can be able to connect better, especially within our families. And I am joined by, on my immediate right, we have Pastor David Makori, who is a pastor, an author, and a family man. Welcome to the program, Pastor.
Thank you, Vivian.
And then right next to Pastor Makori, we have William Deche Mwachiro, and William is a psychologist. Welcome to the program, William.
Thank you.
And then we also have Cleopa Njiru. Cleopa Njiru is a counseling psychologist and is the founder and the director of Viva Mind Solutions Limited. Welcome to the program, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And today I'm with an all-gentlemen panel on this conversation. So of course the ladies, you can be able to talk to us and let us know your contribution to this conversation. I want to begin by asking, first of all, maybe just from your point of view, how have phones changed our conversations and communication, and specifically within our families? Maybe I can begin with you, Pastor.
Thank you, Vivian. From the pastoral point and from as a pastor and a family person, the Bible says in Deuteronomy that teach your children the word when you are walking, when you are sitting, when you are lying down. But now that time has been taken by phones. We no longer have time to talk to the children. The children are checking videos on the phone. They're getting entertained on the phone. That is first part. And then growing up as a young child, I had time with my grandmother who told me stories how we came, where we came from. So those stories have also been replaced by phones. You no longer get anybody telling you stories. And the children who have grown up maybe to teenagehood, they are like, why should you tell me a story when I can ask AI? So you find that has replaced. And I feel like, you know, when we talk, there is a chemistry change. Yeah. There is a chemistry that is moving. When I look at you, something moves. So when I don't look at you, I'm always looking on the phone, because the chemistry, your chemistry is the really place where conversations happen. And so that chemistry has been replaced by phones. So this has really affected families, affected relationships, and even work. You are doing some work, but when a notification comes, you want to sneak in and check. So it really hits hard in you, and you find that your productivity is going down. Yeah.
Just saying is that it has also affected our ability to just be able to concentrate on one thing. You want to check your phone.
You want to check your phone.
Yeah.
The next notification comes, you check, oh, that is usual. I'm waiting for another notification. So that really has taken our concentration. And even when we are talking, you don't concentrate to the person, because now communication through the phones has made it easier that instead of me writing a story, I send an emoji.
Yes.
So that makes us too shallow in conversation.
Yeah. William, are your sentiments the same on matters, you know, whether the phones have changed the way we communicate within ourselves and specifically within our families?
Yes, I do agree. I know the same idea. When we think about social media and phones, we tend to believe on the transition that is happening. We are in an age where technology is being embraced, and it is part of the transition. And we tend to see family values tending to change with the introduction of technology, because whenever we are having a conversation, as Pastor has shared, I'm distracted, I'm looking down. And the key factor of communication is both verbal and non-verbal aspects of communication. They embrace the realities of empathy. And that is why the whole difference tends to become a problem most of the time. Because now once I don't have that realistic connection with an individual, then it deters my interest to progress and have further expressions that are there. It also disrupts the whole process of thinking to a greater degree, concentration, and so on. Because with the phone, there's the realities of a reward system that are there. So once I find something interesting, I like. The algorithm brings another interesting thing. I continue liking. So you find yourself chasing a circle all over and all over again, to the point now where you're hooked onto the phone, and you feel like your concentration is there, and the notifications, as Pastor shared, once it pops up, oh, that interesting post from socialite so-and-so. When you find it's not there, like, at a post kesho, or we find another post on another day. So I tend to believe that it's changed how we are able to concentrate. It's changed how we are able to conversate in a family setup. But we can't focus too much on the negatives. because there are also positive factors that are there.
Yeah.
With the positive, we are able to communicate with people from far distances.
Yeah.
Family members who are abroad, we're able to get to see them and have that conversation with. However, there's an aspect of texting with that connection, with the relationships that are there. It doesn't have that empathy also. So it's only words. You can't feel it from the person that is there. And I think emojis, yes, funny way of expression, but it also serves both positive and negative. Positive from the perspective of expressions that are symbolic in nature. Because when I'm sad, I will frown. The emoji is present to indicate that frowning. You cannot give a sense of certainty of whether you're frowning or not, but you're like, oh, he's mad about this statement I've made about so-and-so. Or when I'm happy, it's like, oh, she's happy about 1, 2, 3. So it progresses the whole aspect of it. There's that deception that is there. It can have an entry point of deception because I can't tell significantly if you're happy or not. But I mean, that's all the same with also verbal and non-verbal communication.
I hear you on that. Cleopa, are phones replacing real conversations?
No, as I listen to William, I'm looking at myself, and even as Pastor said, because I have walked that journey for almost 46 years, because I was working for a telecommunication company. So I saw the evolvement of the telephone. And now the generations, again, I've watched the generations growing. And it's fast-hard. Because I grew up in that time that there was no phone in the village or in towns. So the kind of conversations that were there were real conversation. And you did not have any interruptions. Then I witnessed now the coming of the TV, the telephone, the dial, and then things started changing when the World Wide Web, WWW, came now. And the emails replaced letters, replaced fax. So communication now started moving. And the way it did, also the conversations started changing slowly. The millennials were really excited because they were the ones that were getting the phone for the first time. And so when they started becoming parents, then when parenting, they are holding a child on this side breastfeeding and on the phone on this side. And this child is seeing how the mother is doing. And so the child is learning by observation. And now these are the children again who are now parents now, or they are getting to Gen Z. And now they have come now with so many other things that have come, like AI, the Instagram, TikTok has replaced everything now. So things have gone on changing. So when they change, the conversation changes. But now, as I listen to William, I started seeing for him when he's talking about emoji, he is even smiling. And even the way he is describing it, you can see it's a conversation for him.
already.
But for me, I'm being taught, this is what. So the way I see conversation at my age, the way William seeing conversation at this age is different. Alpha now, they are the ones who have been born now with all these changes. So for them, in fact, this for the parents to know, it's so depressing, anxious, for young men and women now, even as young as 9, 10, when they are denied a phone. Because for them, it's not just calling one person. They are discussing the whole class. 60 young people can be able to talk at the same time because they have grown with technology. So for them, it's different. So now we look at it at two sides. The first side is face-to-face communication, where I see you, I see how your body is reacting and all that. This other conversation through the media now is coming with its positives and its negatives. So we just look at it as not necessarily replacing, but understanding what this kind of communication means for each generation. So it's not necessarily that it has replaced. And then we ask ourselves, what is missing? Because there's something missing. And that's where now we come into helping people to understand.
Yeah.
But above all, there is an element that even us as scientists, people who are studying psychology and behavior, we've not managed to come up with a proper label. Because is the telephone addictive? Is the smartphone addictive? And addiction is where you use something in a compulsive way, such that when it starts bringing problem, and you are aware you're getting problem, you still find yourself using the same. And then somehow a sense of craving, that when the phone is not near you, how do you feel? You know, all those things.
It's now an addiction for many. You know, even as you're saying, you're still looking through it, you're still looking at it as psychologists. When we are noting down addictions, I think in this day and age, I think phones would be written down as, or listed in the list of addictions. Because trust me, there are people who cannot stay a day without their phones. And a day is even, you know, even just an hour without knowing where your phone is.
Yeah, just anxiety, where is my phone?
Yes.
When you want to move from where you are seated in the sitting room, the next thing you want to look for, as I move, I want to move with my phone.
With the phone, yeah.
Yeah, where is it?
Yeah.
So it is already addiction.
It's an addiction.
The only thing is, the difference you have to make is, like now, people like us who are working on the phone,
Yes.
that I get bookings through the phone.
Yeah.
I also have sessions through my phone, either through direct phone call with someone, and we have a whole session. We have video call through the phone. I do research through the phone. So you might find that I have on the phone 9 hours, but what am I doing with the phone? There is another one who is still on the phone like me, but that person is moving from one social platform to another, TikTok, and there are messages that are coming, there are things that are coming, and these things, they are related. It's not the person, but there's someone somewhere who is even observing what you are doing and is giving you the things that he or she wants you to get. So there is a lot that happens in the phone that today, to differentiate why you have the phone, what are you doing the phone, the impact of what you are doing on it on you. So that when we are saying addiction to gambling, gambling is on the phone. Addiction to pornography, pornography is on the phone. Addiction to the phone itself, addiction to internet itself. So, and now coming back to the topic of conversation. So if I am thinking of the phone and I'm here talking to you, am I reasoning to you, or am I waiting to see the next alert on my phone? So then that's where now we can say, yes, it is replacing the conversations.
All right, back at home, remember you can be part of this conversation. I will be reading your feedback as they come in. The question we are asking is, are phones replacing real conversations? The number is right there on your screens, 0707 303 212, 0707 303 212. I'll be sampling your messages as they come in, so keep them coming. And there's something he's brought in, and that is on, we now also just work on our phones. So now parents, guardians are able to carry work back at home on their computers, their phones, and now we also have people who work from home. So it means you're always on your phone, you're always on your computer, you're always on a screen, right? So would you say that this is also just aiding the fact that we are living together, yes, but are we really connecting? Because now you're home as the parent, but you're always busy. It's not like you're doom scrolling on a scroll to, no. There's something you're doing, you're working, you know? So you're there, yes, your children are there, you're living, you're home together, mko pamoja kabisa, but are you really connecting? And that is where the question is arising. Do we really connect as people?
Maybe I go first and say that, as I said earlier, communication happens through our chemistry. connections through chemistry.
Yeah.
When I look at you as we are talking, I'm connecting. As he said, is that when we are talking, there is that the silence itself is also a talk. I'm silent, I'm not checking anything, but just silent listening. It's already a chemistry connection. So this work carried home, Vivian, is also another challenge. How are you doing those days when there were no phones that you were reaching out to your clients from? How are you doing? Why can't we do it now the same? Because now it's making even people lazy.
Yeah.
I can study from here. Do you know, like when I was doing my postgraduate diploma in theology, there were online classes and there were also physical classes. I preferred physical because I'm going to connect. I'm connecting with people there, connecting with the lecturer and all that. So the connection is what is really also worked against. You have your lecturer from the US, fine, he comes through screen, you finish, he disappears. That connection also is not as intact as it should be. And that's why you find people live on their own. Tumemaliza class, thank you.
Yeah.
So the connection is really hit, even in relationships. You find two people, they say they are dating, they go out there, they sit under a tree, but everybody turns to his or her phone when there is nothing more to talk about. Yeah, so the connection really is really hit hard.
Yeah, but I mean, we can't refute the fact that it has the positives that we had mentioned earlier. Even when it comes to the schooling, like you were talking about, it has brought about that convenience that I can just attend my classes online. You know, yes, we are missing that face-to-face and being together, you know, in one place, but it's also convenience, and it is assisting so many people. I can do my master's online without having to go to maybe this particular university that is abroad. Maybe I don't have the means to go, but I can just be able to do it online and still get my certification from there. So it has its positives.
But
yes.
Vivian, learning is also connecting. Like, we finished class, I'm catching up with my fellow classmates. There's something I learned after class. I think so.
Yeah, the intrapersonal skills.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'd like to challenge that whole factor. Because if you think about it, technology is a byproduct for the need of innovation. We innovate so that we find simplicity in certain things. I mean, when we talk about bringing work home, first of all, we consider the work-life balance factor that is there. So is it that the technology is the problem, or is it that we haven't developed significant skills to blend in to family values? Because yes, I'll carry my work home, do all this process and everything, but would that be the technology's fault, or would that be a sense of the lack of the work-life balance? I think there's a need to reflect deeply into such a factor, because not many individuals are seeking to avoid the realities of technology or confront the realities of technology. However, we never tend to ask the devil's advocate question. What if the technology worked too good than expected? Because it's meant to give us access widely, and it's doing that. It's making things simple. So is it that our values themselves are not generating and adapting to such a similarity that we find ourselves quite uncertain on how we can proceed with such situations? So I feel we have an obligation to challenge ourselves. If my son or my mother or my daughter is fixing themselves too much on the phone, is there a certain sense of deficit that's there? Because if there's a deficit, there's going to be an adaptation to a new factor or a skill. And look at this, I can't do this as best as I can. I need to run away to a vast opening where I might not be questioned or labeled per se.
Yeah, Cleopa, you were adding on to that.
I would like to look at it now in terms on conversation. And why conversation? So we go to relationships. And relationships, there are certain things that you need to get from relationships. Like, for instance, to understand someone better. So I'm asking myself, if we are communicating through the phone, are we able to know each other? Like to know how your day was and all that, and to follow up in what the day is happening. But then there is something deeper in knowing someone, which is now being replaced by the phone, that we don't have the opportunity of knowing, maybe like when you are annoyed, how do your face looks like. Because you see, I'm communicating with you through the phone. And this communication is not just because you are far. We have parents who are communicating with their children. The child is in the bedroom the whole day, and is in the bedroom because of the phone. Because they have to have some conversation with their friends and all that. So then, instead of the parent going to see the child, they will send a text or call on the phone.
Can you imagine? This is the reality.
This
You're
is
in
the
the same
reality.
house, but you're texting.
Yes, you are texting and you are in the same house. Or even when you see people sitting down, like couples going for a dinner, you see this couple is on the phone, the other one is on the phone. You might think they are talking to people at a distance, but they are able to be on the same table. I get something nice, I forward to you, you laugh, I laugh.
Through the phone.
Yes, we are in the same table, and I'm going through scrolling my own stuff, you're going through your own stuff, I'm doing my own thing. So you see, then knowing each other, yes, we are together, but we are not knowing us. We are knowing what we are seeing on the screen. So it changes relationships. And so it replaces that sense of wanting to know someone deeper. So that it's like a GPS. You ask about someone's life because you have communicated. You touch on my life from childhood, you can tell, and we have that connection now because we are able to talk to each other. Even conflict resolution. Like when we misunderstand each other, we can easily repair through face-to-face conversation. But now you see people are even breaking up on text. You see, before in the same
texting
room,
the
same
conflict,
house,
the hard
and in
talk.
the morning, someone goes, you did this time, I told you this. You did this and did this, it's over. And you see they are still on the same. So then will we repair relationship now, the way we are made things is being replaced instead of me facing you face to face. Like now the generation who came up from birth is the phone. So they have no skills of one-to-one communication. So they would rather text than face the person. So they don't have, and then it will create anxiety. How am I going to start? How am I going to tell someone? So you can see when you follow the importance of conversation and the media for conversation. Now the phone is now coming in between because that is the media we are using to talk to each other. And that media is also frustrating because I could be expecting, like when you post, the number of views, the number of likes. If I'm with you and I have posted something and there are no views, there are no likes, then I get annoyed or I get frustrated or disappointed. Now you don't know why am I disappointed. Is it because of you or because of my views? So you see, that's how the conversation is now changing.
All right, let me read some of the messages that have come in. Someone is saying, good morning, I am following and loving the conversation and tuning in from Taita Taveta County. Thank you so much. Another one here is saying, hello, I am Lucius from Eldoret. I agree that phones are now replacing real conversations rapidly in this era. This is because nowadays even the important meetings are being done over the phones and the message hit every member softly. I think they're also saying even when it comes to our workspaces. We're doing our meetings online. So that face-to-face interaction is lacking and lacking by the day. There's something you had mentioned, and I want to pick it up from there, on matters validation, online validation. And now online validation is a thing. And it is something that I'll say maybe the youngins are ones who are grappling with it mostly, whereby you feel like you're validated by the likes you get. You're validated by the amount of followers you have online. I posted this picture. Oh, don't I look beautiful? How come only 2 people have liked? So there's that also. And maybe just what does that do to the mind?
Yeah, it brings a lot of problems because firstly, it lowers your self-esteem as an individual. Once you post your picture or comment on a certain level, you expect that maybe I'll get 19 likes or 20 likes, and then alas, you get 1.
Yeah.
And that makes that makes you feel less important. Like, doesn't my thought process or my ideas don't they matter? But the reality is, possibly it might have passed through a number of phones, and these individuals just scrolled through the post without lacking, not because there's a sense of hate or rage towards the comment, but simply because it was just another day, by the way. And that makes a whole pollution of family values by itself. Because if you think about it, you are sitting with your family and let's say something happens and you feel like, I want to talk to someone about what's happening in my family. So that erodes the privacy that is there, and it tarnishes the family value factor, because now you're opening up yourself to a bunch of random individuals online, and suggestions are vast but are based on unique experiences that everyone has had. So you might get a suggestion that might not even augur well with the values that are standing within the family itself. And it causes a whole disruption with how you view yourself and how you view people around you, basically.
All right. We need to finish the conversation, unfortunately, but let me read this last message. Someone is saying, I love this conversation, especially the challenge thrown into the ring by one of the speakers, whether technology is the problem or failure in balancing this technology. Technology and developers of technology will in future face class action for bringing innovations that negatively destroyed social fabrics. That is Marikas Mayunga from Nairobi. I will take your final remarks, gentlemen, in 30 seconds each. 30 seconds.
My final remarks is that phones are not evil, but they are good and excellent servants, but bad masters.
All right.
Yeah.
Adaptation is necessary for progress. So instead of avoidance, let us work on understanding situations and then adapting to it. All this is just part of the progress of humanity.
Okay.
Mine is, let us have some screen-free time. If it's our meals, if it's conversation, it will be more respectful if we have to try a little bit to keep our phones aside, not only separate, but keep them somewhere where we have an important family meeting, you're meeting someone. That's one of the first steps towards helping us have real conversations.
All right, thank you so much. And we will agree that this is a conversation that we can be able to carry on. Maybe next week we can still have the same conversation so that we are able to cover it widely. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me. As we wind up, Victor, should I call you Victor the Octopus? So 4 teams remaining in the World Cup. We have France, we have Spain, we have Argentina, and we have England.
Yes.
So tomorrow's game is France and Spain.
Yes.
Your prediction?
France and Spain. Now, let me give you their head-to-head before. So their head-to-head, in 2025, Spain beat France 5-4. That was on penalties at the UEFA Champions League. In 2024, they also met in the semi-finals. Spain beat France 2-1. In 2021, there was a final of the UEFA Champions League. Spain was 1 and France 2. And in 2017, there was a friendly between the two teams. Spain beat France 2-0. And in 2014, France beat Spain 1-0 in international friendly. So this is my prediction for tomorrow. All of them are depending on 2 key players. France is depending on Kylian Mbappe, and Spain is betting on the youngster Yamal. I have a feeling that this score is going to go to an extra time. They know themselves very well. That's number 1. Number 2, it's going to end probably 1-1 draw, extra time, regular time. Then they will proceed to the extra time. And if they happen to do so, I have a feeling that France is going to upset Spain. France has a very good defense. They are going to depend on the likes of Kylian Mbappe to attack the defense of Spain to advance. So that is my prediction. My prediction, France is going to proceed.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm also for France, so we'll see how that goes tomorrow.
Great.
Okay, let's end the show. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who has been tuned in since we began at 6:30 a.m. until this point. So thank you. My name is Vivian Ndegwa.
I'm Victor Lo. Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow.
Tunapowasha vifaa vyetu, tunapata fursa ya kutangamana na wasikilizaji wetu.
Karibu sana thĩinĩ wa tabarĩra ya Rwiga.
Tunapeperusha utangazaji uliobobea katika habari,
nĩ ũndũ wa macio na mangĩ maingĩ,
burudani,
nĩ harĩa tũkoragwo tũkĩigua nyĩmbo mwaki nyĩmbo hot,
na hamasisho la kiroho. Usiachwe nyuma. Jiunge nasi kwa safari ya kufana katika 99.5 FM. Shoro FM.
The wait is over. KBC Iko Huduma Center. Starting with Nairobi, kupata huduma za KBC imekuwa rahisi. From digital guidance and signet services to booking of commercial adverts and documentaries. Visit our dedicated desks at Huduma Center GPO, Times Square, Makadara, Kibera, or Eastleigh. Tunakungoja hapo. Whether it's a casual announcement or a specialized media solution for your business, we are here to serve you. KBC at Huduma Centers, moving closer to you. Your station, your service.
Austin Odora, check. Michael Carter, check. Another reggae, check. The vocal reggae, check. Father and sons and members of the Origi family, who also include Anthony and Gerard, who have established themselves in not only the Kenya football circles but the international scene as well, to write their own family chapter in the history books. But today we'll focus on Michael Koth, one of the first Kenyans to play professional football in Europe, and it all began in Eastlands before the clubs came calling while in school.
I think it's the environment that we grew up in Eastlands. You know, the easiest sport to play was football, because it's an open field. Everybody can play it. So we used to play around in the estates. Unfortunately, also in the primary school that I went to, they had also different kind of sports, and football was one of them. So it encouraged me to play football and to really take it seriously later. I went to school in West Coast Primary School. After that, I went to boarding school in Kisii, Interior High School. But in football, my first football team was Shabana in Kisii. And then after Shabana, I played for Kenya Breweries, which is now Tusker.
Shabana was a force to reckon with during those days to feature in the Africa Champions Cup, and he was their goalkeeper before he switched places to become a striker.
It was a big contrast, but you know, as a young boy, there were no positions. So when you were growing up, you could play anywhere. When you are very good, they could say, no, you just go and stand as a keeper, because you are scoring too many goals, so that you could balance the team. And when things were tight, sometimes they know somebody else should be in the goal, so you go in front. So those are the advantages that I had. I could play in both positions. But when I went to high school, it was a little bit different, because now you are supposed to focus on a certain position. So I played as a keeper for a long time. But there was a moment. When we had a crisis in Shabana. Most of our strikers were injured. So the coach then, Akbar Khan, said, I have seen you playing as a striker sometimes in your school games. So he just said, we will train for 2-3 weeks and to see so that we can see how far you can go as a striker. Fortunately enough, the first game I played, I scored 2 goals, and from then they said that it was better for me to be a striker. That's how things changed. I think the first club is always the most important thing, because that's when they saw my capabilities, and they gave me that opportunity to express myself as a footballer. So Shabana and the coaches there, Akbar Khan and Dogo Khan, who was the founder of the team, those are the guys who really saw what I could achieve as a footballer, and they gave me the opportunity. So I could say that Shabana was my most memorable part of my career.
Eventually moved to Kenya Breweries, where enabled them to secure the Moi Golden Cup.
The switch to Kenya Breweries was more, I think, after I finished school, because when I was playing for Shabana, I was still in school. So when I finished school, you also have to look for your future. You have to take care of yourself. And Kenya Breweries then were offering a job opportunity for us as footballers, so we could play football and at the same time work for the company. So that's why I switched from Shabana to Kenya Breweries.
His exploits in the Sekafa Senior Challenge Cup, where the national soccer team has recorded some of his most memorable moments, earned him a place among the greats, and he did not disappoint, ensuring they secured their ticket to the 1990 and especially the 1992 Africa Cup of Nations before he made his third appearance in 2004.
First of all, it was the passion. Of course, we had the talent, but the passion was there. And also, if you can remember very well, we had a good support from the whole country, from the ministry, from the government, and people who just volunteered to support the team. So we had a good backing. And also the organization, the coach,